Climb Out is the UK's first queer climbing festival. It was all about creating a community where outdoor climbing meets queer joy.
It's really for anybody who fits under the umbrella of queer and allies as well. We really wanted to make sure that everybody felt welcome. It's in our core values, but seeing people here from all different backgrounds, all different abilities, all different physical characteristics, from all parts of the world has been really, really wonderful, and that's how we wanted it to be.
I'm doing the 19 track course today with my friends, so it's an exciting day.
I've never been to a queer climbing festival before, but I'm really glad I came.
That one, you'd have been pulled into the rock. Climb Out is an amazing festival. I arrived last night and there were amazing colours, rainbow flags everywhere. Everyone's really smiley and happy.
I've loved every second. I'm a straight, middle-aged white male. I've come away with so much more awareness and understanding of genders and sexualities. I kind of feel like a kind of better person.
It's just so special. It's so nice to find people who are just like instantly connected over something. It's like climbing and then it's being queer, and it's just, there's so much that already connects us all, so it just makes friendship a lot easier.
Oh, cute.
It's really lovely for me to be involved in a really inclusive environment. As a paraclimber, I don't actually hang around in like super inclusive environments, and then when you go into a really inclusive environment, you really notice the difference.
When you tie into someone at the other end of the rope with trotting, then you're really putting absolute faith in somebody and that trust. And there's been so much trust and faith and honesty this weekend. It's been absolutely incredible.
Oh, there should definitely be more festivals like Climb Out. It's like such a positive, wonderful, safe space to just be yourself. And I think every community deserves that. So this is magical. It should happen everywhere.
Climbing was one of the best gifts that somebody ever gave to me, and I think we've brought that to some people over this weekend. So yeah, I'm super happy about that at the Climate Festival.
Welcome to the 2026 British Bouldering Championships, live here in Manchester at the Depot Climbing. 51 of the country's best about to step out onto the mats, all fighting to whittle this field down to just 8, as always, for tonight's final. It's full World Cup format for semis and for finals, and I'm joined throughout by British team climber and all-round legend of the sport, Molly Thompson-Smith.
Hello, Mike.
Molly, this event plays a big role as part of the British team selection. Not only medals and money to win tonight, but you can really feel the intensity in the venue here. How important it is for the athletes really hoping to represent Great Britain this year internationally and on the World Cup circuit.
Oh, absolutely. As far as weekends go for this year, this is an important one for our athletes. And like you said, you can really feel that in the atmosphere here at Depot Climbing in Manchester. Today's competition is super important for deciding who will be our British bouldering team for the 2026 season, as well as who will be representing on the World Cup stage. Now, we had such a successful year last year, particularly in men's bouldering, as well as women's, so we do have some pre-selected athletes. So for them, this weekend's not so important, although I'm sure it's a great, test, measure, marker of how their winter training has gone. But we've got 5 men who are pre-selected for World Cups this year and 2 women. So there's 3 women's spots up for grabs and 1 men's spot. So it's going to be really brutal in the men's field today.
Yeah, it's a really, really stacked lineup. Let's have a look at the lineup then. Men's qualification really yesterday was, like I said, absolutely stacked. Really was Max Milne who led the way at the top, with Hamish MacArthur and Fred Williams right on their heels. The top 3 separated just by the finest of margins yesterday. Behind them, really, it was the experience and youth. We saw a lot of youth really climbing really well. That all kind of mixed up really nicely with former champions Sam Butterworth and last year's winner Jack Maduga all safely through. A few emerging names though, and also a lot of them making quite strong statements on the boulders. This one is going to be really, really close. And I think this semi-finals, as you said, Molly, is really, really wide open. 26, I think it is, in the men's competition, with a few internationals from the Irish team scraping through, bumping the number up from 24 to 26. In the women's yesterday, it was high quality really from top to bottom. Emma Edwards really led the way with a commanding round, closely followed by the super strong Lucy Garlick and Zoe Petermans, all showing real control across the set yesterday. Behind them, though, the depth of the field really stood out with a strong mix, again, of youth and experience making it through. Margins this tight, I think this one again is really, really wide open. But Molly, a few noticeable absentees though.
Yeah, I mean, we have to mention the 2 people who aren't here at the moment, Erin McNeice and Toby Roberts, 2 of our strongest athletes on the British team, both out for slightly different reasons, but basically due to injury. Toby's, I've written it down because it's quite complicated, currently struggling with bilateral ulnar neuropathy in his elbows, nerve compression in his neck and shoulders, and a bit of jaw pain. So we're sending all the best to Toby. I've seen he's back on the wall, which is great.
I think he's here somewhere, actually.
Oh.
Rumour has it.
But he's looking really strong, and it's, I guess with injuries as complex as this, just taking it step by step. And of course, we want to see him out on the world stage. So not competing here is a very smart move performance-wise. And kind of the same for Erin McNeice as well. She mentioned recently on Instagram that she'd been struggling with a lot of anxiety, more than your normal sports-related anxiety. And it was a very brave post. And I think we need to remember that athletes are humans, and
absolutely,
you can't just ignore the struggles of mental health as well. So we're wishing all the best for Erin as well. And we look forward to seeing her on the World Cup stage.
So you can see on your screen then the scene here at the Depot in Manchester is starting to look really good. The main competition wall here actually is good, but it's not quite big enough for the semi-final round. So just to set the scene a little bit, we have got, get my numbers right here, we've got 6 boulders across the front and 2 further boulders off to the left-hand side. Just off camera at the moment, 2 vertical boulders to start, followed by left to right as we work our way around the venue. Just as you can see our local MC here, he's currently stood, just to give you a bit of an idea of where we are here at the Depot, he's stood on the right hand side of this really immense competition wall here at the Depot. And Molly, there's a whole selection of angles, and you've had a really good look at the boulders. To me, the boulders look fantastic.
Yes, agreed. We were lucky enough to be taken round by Chief Route Setter today, Dave Barons. He gave us a little tour of the blocks, and you can just see how much work has gone into making these boulders, one, great tests of all-round abilities, but also kind of a bit of a spectacle as well. The wall looks great. and I'm sure the boulders are going to climb just as well as they look. But I think we are about to kick off with our first athletes.
Yeah, that is the left-hand side of the arena then. So semi-final format is the classic four boulders, 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off the wall. Isolation zone is just to the right of where those first two climbers, Hannah Hunt and Sean O'Connor, are currently prepping the boulders there at the moment. So they go back to an isolation zone in between boulders, and we work our way today from left to right. 5 minutes for each boulder. Sounds like a lot, Molly, but in reality, on boulders this difficult, probably not.
5 minutes is not a lot of time. I encourage you, if you want to have a little taste of what it's like to compete at this level, go to your local wall, pick out a boulder at your absolute maximum and try and get it done in 5 minutes.
So a respectable crowd in here at the moment, just filling the various elements of the Depot Climbing Centre. It's not a sort of standalone World Cup bespoke built venue, but it is very, very good, and there's plenty of space for a crowd. So semi-finals tends to be a bit of a slow burner, so at home get the tea and the crumpets out, enjoy the next couple of hours of climbing, because there's some absolute talent on display, and as Molly said, the boulders look really, really good as well.
Yeah, what a way to spend your Sunday morning, hey?
Well, and hopefully not just the morning, because we have got the finals coming up tonight. Starts just before 6 p.m. tonight here in Manchester.
Absolutely. But looking at these first boulders, Dave, our chief route setter, said that F1 was all about subtlety. I think it was a bit powerful, a bit tensiony, quite technical, so he's kind of wrapped it all up in not many holds, to be honest.
Not many holds and not a huge amount of space into this corner, but you can really pack in some complexity when it comes to corner climbing and some bad footholds. Yeah, the stories of these boulders will probably develop over the next sort of hour and a half to 2 hours. Obviously, at this stage in the game, if we see early tops, some of the route setters might be getting a bit nervous that the round's too early, or we've got some absolute bolters coming through the field, which British Championships has definitely happened before.
Absolutely, you never know who's going to turn up when it matters most, so best of luck to everyone.
Well, and a fantastic blend of youth climbers who might not necessarily be the biggest names, really challenging some of the likes of Max Mill and Hamish MacArthur later on in the round, and those from overseas. Sean O'Connor here from Ireland, making an interesting start on men's number one. It's a real sort of hop, a skip and a jump to get the round going, which I think a lot of the younger athletes especially, but not that any of them are probably older than 23, but some of the real young guns will be enjoying a bit of jumping to start. And sometimes I used to find back in the day that a really slow technical slab would be the most awful way to start, but looks like we've got a bit of power to get going in the men's, but not so much for Hannah.
No, Hannah's still figuring out this first move. I think she's on the right lines, trying to hop over, and there she goes, she sticks it. Just taking a moment there to look at that terrible 10-point hold. You know there must be a lot of difficulty between the 10-point hold and the top, because they're both scoring.
So just setting the scene here in terms of scoring, it's the World Climbing, ex-IFSC, we're going to muddle those words plenty of times today, the sort of change in branding from our international federation. Like I said, 4 boulders, 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. We've got what used to be 1 zone hold, which is now the 10-point hold. This is all from Olympics onwards, essentially, the scoring system. 10 points is the first zone, which you can just see Hannah aiming towards on the right-hand side there. And then 25 points for a top. 0.1 points deducted for every unsuccessful attempt. So essentially, it's still tops that counts, but it's the number of attempts can become quite crucial. And with this scoring system, if you look at some of the feedback online, ties can become quite prevalent, especially in the latter stages when the event gets really close.
And that is it for our first pair of athletes.
Gavin Thomas and Rosie McGowan out next then. Just see in the background there, just the sort of the slow start to the morning as the crowd slowly starts to build. I always find it's such a pressured situation. Molly, you've been on the mat yourself, competing in many an occasion, from huge international World Cups, Olympics, but I feel like the tension in a small room like this can sometimes be a lot actually harder to deal with than, say, 9,000-10,000 people watching live and countless thousands online.
Definitely, as we already mentioned, the atmosphere is quite tense here. I think, this weekend is the decider of what your year looks like, really, and just the knowledge of that can put a lot of pressure on these athletes. I think it being a smaller space, knowing a lot of faces, you don't want to let people down. I can see why the athletes find British champs a bit more stressful maybe than a World Cup. I guess this is kind of a stepping stone to what everyone wants to eventually get to throughout the year.
Is it quite an isolating experience? Obviously, you've not seen the boulder before. You've got 5 minutes. It's just you and the wall, and essentially a load of people staring at you.
I think it's quite tough, and maybe this first boulder is a good example of that, when you can't quite unlock it from the get-go, and that's maybe what happens with these coordination style moves, is you just find yourself repeatedly falling off the same move over and over again, and it can be quite hard to stay positive during that. So that's a little bit of a rough introduction to a round, but it's part of the game now. This is a very common style, and the route setters have done a great job in trying to test everyone across the board, because if you do make it to World Cups, that's what you're going to get. So
yeah, part of the indication from the organiser of this event, the BMC, was to the route setters to make it, quotes, World Cup style. I mean, that's a fairly loose term these days compared to what you see in modern climbing gyms. There's so many big holds, big volumes and big moves. But they really are leaning into this being a high-pressure training event to really get the British team to where they need to be pre-season.
Yeah, and talking of route setting and the route setters, we've got quite a stacked route setting team as well. As we mentioned earlier, Dave Barons is our chief route setter. He has been British champ probably more times
than I've got fingers to count.
Yeah, exactly. Dave knows what he's talking about, basically. He's also competed on the World Cup stage for GB for a really long time. He's been there through many of my World Cup memories and had a World Championship bronze medal, I think, in China quite a while ago now, but we'll move on from it.
Yeah, I'm going to stab in the dark at 2013.
I think it was around then, but he's a great member to lead the team, basically, and has a wealth of experience when it comes to competing at BBCs and internationally. So yeah, he's a great leader, but with him we've also got some aspiring route setters, including Tara Hayes, who is an ex-GBT member, and I think it's great to see Tara now kind of giving back in a way and contributing to the route setting in the UK. I think having a female who can climb as hard as Tara can, who's had the experience of being an athlete on the mats, she just brings such a good perspective to the route setting team, and it's really exciting to see her joining that side.
Yeah, I was chatting to some of the organisers yesterday, and they said that this event is obviously about crowning a British champion, but the organisers are putting in significant work to skill up the judging team. There's judges here from Italy, and there's a lot of community sharing going on to really skill up across Europe, really. That's been led by some of the British organisers here to make sure that the whole standard of everything is just increasing as we get more and more Olympic cycles. And it's really, really great to see. Having said that, what's not great to see is people falling off loads and loads of times on the boulder. So a really tough start here. Probably expected, though. We are trying to separate in the men's competition 26, 25 in the women's, trying to separate it down to just 8 for each gender for tonight's final. And the field is, as we've mentioned a few times, is really, really stacked. So it is going to be a hard round. There's no escaping that.
Yeah, and it must be a hard task for the route setters to try and split quite a big variety in abilities in this field. Going back to yesterday's qualification scores, we had the top finishers with points well into the over 100, and then these athletes coming out early on a lot lower down, so it's going to be hard for them, but I'm sure that they're just enjoying the experience of competing at a semi-final in the British Championships.
So just to do a little bit of housekeeping, saw the time just flick on and off the screen there. We are just getting that under control at the moment, but this round is about to come to an end. And the next 5-minute rotation will make a start. There's an audible beep in the background that counts down the last 5 seconds before there's a 15-second rotation period where the athletes come out. Chris Kafari and Lucy Cooper next. Chris is one of the athletes we see a lot down in London at the moment. That's where I'm based, running a lot of the events down there. He's made many a final, Chris, in the London scene, and one of those climbers who is just super strong. Does tend to burn quite a lot of attempts, but when he gets a hold, he's not letting go of it.
Yeah, Chris is one of our more experienced competitors. He has been on the GB team already, so he knows what's at stake, he knows what the level is, and is probably looking to get another place on the team again.
Yeah, that's definitely worth fighting for. Lucy Cooper, really great moments of promise throughout the qualification tour yesterday as well. And I think at the moment, Boulder women's number 1 looking quite toppable. As this competition goes on, obviously we've got 2 climbers on the wall at the moment, 3 climbers, excuse me. Just about to see in shot our 4th climber, so as the round progresses, we will get up to 8 on the wall at once, which, just putting it out there, it's quite tricky to keep track of, all 8 at once, and we're going to do our very best throughout this evening as we see Hannah Hunt really looking quite in control of this, that 360 spin on women's number 2. Great looking boulder. Suggested to us as more of a British style.
Yes, a bit of British grappling, I guess, with a tricky move out to a slot. I feel like a slot is a very British way of increasing difficulty.
Yeah, precision. Boulder number 2 then. Molly, first climber out. Sean O'Connor, it's this sort of technical, just off vertical slab. Well known here at the depot for a lot of their events, a lot of heartbreak on that bit of wall.
Yeah, definitely. Dave described this boulder as English-French and tenuous, and it certainly looks that. We had a closer look at those holds and they are bad. I'm certainly not jealous of Sean here on that vert slab.
I mean, we're sitting 30 or 40 metres away from that boulder at the moment, and I can't actually see the handholds from here, so gives you an idea of how small they are. We'll talk you through that boulder as we get through this semi-final round, but essentially a hard stand-up move. We'll come back to that actually. I'll describe that boulder in a little more detail, as we really want to see Chris Kafari giving it a bit of bounce across here. He just hasn't found the sweet spot on those volumes. It's sort of a lot of left foot, that jump leftwards.
Yeah, this boulder is all left hand, left foot, a lot of coordination for the left. But I think it's quite a common coordination move now. I feel like quite trendy, maybe. Yeah, sort of lead with the left and then hop, and then trying to find a balanced position. But the holds Chris was aiming for are actually quite good, as Hannah Hunt really is enjoying this early section. Good to put a bit of power down early in the round, get the biceps warmed up. There's the slot that Molly was referring to with the left hand. It's like a good edge, but route setters have put a cheeky little hat over the top of it. Chris trying something slightly different this time with the right foot cross through as well, to trying to generate out of that. Really hasn't found the movement pattern at all there at the moment, Kafari. Hannah going through quite a few attempts in a short space of time.
Yeah, we're putting a lot of power down early in the round. You can see the right hand sliding down that sort of what we might refer to as a guppy on the volume, sort of a wrap of the right hand. Potentially burning quite a lot of skin after a tricky round yesterday as well. Still a further 2 boulders to go, and trust me, they're not getting any easier. Molly on that move with Chris there at the moment. He's bouncing leftwards, but his body's coming out quite far from the wall. He's got to try and find a method of jumping whilst staying really sort of pinned close to the surface of the wall.
Yeah, I think it's all about direction of hips with that sort of move and trying to face the wall as much as possible. But again, one of those kind of moves where eventually I'm sure Chris will get it, but can he get it in 5 minutes? The question. And I think he's getting slightly closer, but just not quite finding that right end position, which means he's flying past the 10-point hold. But on to our next athletes. Holly Key and Arlo Levy.
Yeah. And wearing 104, Gavin Thomas just starting his campaign on that slab. That's the one that I just briefly mentioned earlier. There's a tiny little crimp in the middle of the wall there. It's blocked as well. And it's a real teeter to the right on that boulder. And some horrendous footholds. There's Arlo starting his campaign. Really well colour coordinated with the wall there. I like to see that. Representing White Spider in the south of London. And I've actually seen Arlo quite a lot recently at the Blockfest events down in London. Kind of, to me, seemingly came from nowhere, and everyone was sort of shaking their head like, where did this guy come from? He's absolutely incredible. And he's got that real sort of slight frame that when he gets a small hold, he certainly isn't letting go. It's very impressive to see. But he's looking quite an all-rounded climber now, and looking very, very good.
Yeah, he's only 16 years old, so he's pretty young. He is on the England talent team, so clearly interested in competing and showing a lot of potential for the future.
So if you have just joined us, Mike Langley and Molly Thompson-Smith here. This is the Senior British Championships for Boulder. 26 men and 25 women are going to be climbing in front of us throughout this morning. The next couple of hours, climbers here at the Depot Climbing in Manchester will be working their ways left to right. 2 boulders on your screen at the moment are on the far left-hand side of this venue. And they take their 5 minutes rest in an isolation zone behind the wall before coming out on the main sort of beef of the comp wall here that starts to get steeper and steeper as they go around, culminating in some really big moves we'll see later on in a 60-degree roof. Semi-final round is here with the aim to get down to just 8 finalists tonight. There is the under-17s British Bouldering Championships going on simultaneously here in another room. Sadly, that one isn't streamed this weekend. That would be too many climbers to talk about at once, considering we're going to have 8 on the wall simultaneously shortly. But that is going on in the background. It is looking like a great event, and those really are the future, and in the years to come they'll be stepping up, and we'll be seeing those on the live stream as well.
Arlo looking like he wants to stop on that first black hold and not try and carry on the movement. But speaking to Dave, it sounds like you can't stop. But I mean, everyone loves to see a bit of boulder breakage.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see if Arlo can prove Dave wrong.
I'm putting my 10 pence on the line now. I want to see someone jump from the first hold to the last.
Oh, I don't
the
think
internet
it's possible.
breaker.
I don't think it's possible, but I would also love to see it.
To be honest, I don't think it's possible either, but I'm just trying to build it up a bit, you know?
I see. I mean, with people like Hamish MacArthur, who love to break boulders and really, you know, they're skilled at using their length. And there's all this like, reaching and morpho, but I actually think it is a proper skill to know your proportions and be able to use it to its absolute max. And Hamish is incredible at that. So, I mean, maybe he thinks he could and he can.
That's the move in question there, men's number 1. What do you think, guys? Start to finish on the red, but men's number 1.
Does it go?
Rosie's really kind of getting into the pain cave early on in this competition. Real battle with that women's number 2. Almost a non-existent starting foothold. It's sort of a big yellow blob down there, but it's upside down, so she essentially has to bring the feet straight off the mat, straight upside down, and spin. Really intense on the core, and walking away feeling that one.
Yeah, very difficult starts to these boulders so far. Hard for athletes to kind of get into a flow, but this is the British Bouldering Championships, and we have an absolutely stacked field, so the route setters have put some really tough blocks on the wall to separate everyone.
Chris Kafari's moving on to the slab, men's number 2. And Felix Watson-Evans will be making a start on men's number 1. Holly Key is out for the women.
Lucy opting to not go feet first on the start of F2 and just going pure power.
Front on power, that's what I like to see.
Love to see it.
There is a real emphasis of board climbing in this country. It's sort of possibly the country where board climbing is prominent the most. That's a real feature of our sport, and pure power style front on, we're seeing that a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. We've got a very strong training culture in the UK, I'd say. And I think that despite the youth coming through with the coordination skills and the spectacular parkour moves, we've still got that training and strength culture. So it's good to see it tested on these boulders here in the semi-finals.
First look then at women's number 3. Hannah Hunt starting to battle out some of the steeper sections of this wall here. Blue volumes with black sort of rails, really trending right to left, that one.
Yeah, another tensiony and powerful boulder set by Ewan McFadden, our Scottish setting representative.
And this is the first look, beautifully keyed up there for Sean O'Connor at men's number 3. Another boulder set by Ewan and the team. A lot more basic, this one, and sort of a powerful, like, horrendous squat position. You're talking about height earlier, Molly. Obviously, it's a big distance between the holds, but you're really in a small box there, and you wonder if some of the bigger climbers are going to really struggle to explode out of that position.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to add difficulty to a quite simple vertical jump, is to make the start position really difficult to get out of, and the route setters have certainly done that here.
Yeah, they're not exactly jumping to massive warm-up jugs either, I don't reckon.
Definitely not.
Look at the battle here from Hannah, though. This is really good to see. Loads of tension on that third boulder.
And there's quite a lot of work to do to get the 10-point hold on that boulder. It's still a long way, so...
Just a commentary correction there. We've got Amy Rafferty, on women's number 1. Starting to do battle with this groove and looking in quite a good, solid, composed position at the moment. No huge scores on the doors at the moment, really. 25 climbers in the women's to get down to just 8, and we will bring you scores as they sort of start to come in throughout the round.
Chris getting established on M2. And even just starting this boulder looks really challenging.
A lot of head shaking going on out there at the moment, which, to be fair, was probably what we were expecting at the moment. There's no shortage of effort, though. Lucy Cooper really going to town on that boulder, not quite sure where to wrap the legs. Was Amy Rafferty there. Good to see that representation from Ireland coming over here, taking that short hop across the Irish Channel to get stuck into these boulders. And there's definitely some more and more strong climbers coming over. This competition is accessible for all internationals. And I think the vision for this event in the future is to try and skill it up, level it up, and so that internationals do want to attend. Obviously it's hugely important as part of the British team selection, but it is a competition at the end of the day. We are looking for a winner, looking for a podium, and internationals are absolutely welcome. So next year, if you want to get stuck in, you fancy to look at these types of boulders, come and get involved.
Chris managing to almost stick the 10-point hold on this M2, but he's just out of time, so he's going to have to walk away, unfortunately.
Felix Watson-Evans actually getting quite close to the 10-point hold there in the final few seconds of his attempt. Dario Prina will be out next, another climber from sort of London and the southeast in the men's competition. Should be Lily Moss as well joining us. And in the next rotation we'll have our full 8 climbers on the wall at once. We are nearly at that stage already here in the semi-finals. A gentle rumble of techno here so far at the depot. This will be ramping up as the day goes on. Local DJ, many will know, Sam Whitaker from the Climbing Works, giving us some nice tunes this morning, and the crowd just sort of relaxed, sat on beanbags, and many of them sort of standing in any position they can find to keep an eye on the boulders. A lot of the squads here, a lot of the younger climbers do come as part of a squad for a wall. You can obviously see when we cut to Arlo Levy, he's got the white spider top on there, and the development of the youth squads means that when they come to events like this, they tend to come en masse.
Yes,
so there's a lot of support for each of the athletes.
They come en masse, they come with coaches. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to see how the sport's developed over the last 10 years or so.
Do the coaches come in coaches?
Do the coaches come in coaches? They probably need to with the amount of athletes they've all got in semi-finals. But no, it's also a good opportunity for coaches and athletes to practice their warm-up together. Coaches are allowed into isolation, so I saw a lot of them going in this morning. And yeah, it's a good opportunity for both coaches and athletes to refine their competition process, their skill sets.
Arlo looking really in control of that first move after a whole pile of attempts. Sort of really slamming the right foot down onto that volume to establish in control in the starting position, which is not easy considering the first hold is a sort of a non-existent upside down crimp. It's almost like a thumb sprag of a hold.
Like a placeholder, really, isn't it? Just there because it has to be there, but not really that useful. Oh, and that was really close from Dario on men's one.
Yeah, Dario's got a bit of a reputation in London for being a bit of a king of the dynos.
Oh, really? So Dario was probably quite excited when he came out to see this boulder as his first of the day.
Oh, yeah, he is getting very close. You're right, Molly. He's got that right foot step-through technique is on this boulder. Third boulder. Looks like we might have an early top. Interesting, went with the left hand at the top. Really, really close straight away. Gavin Thomas. We will do our absolute utmost throughout this competition to keep track. We've got 8 climbers to keep an eye on all at the same time here. Any key moments, we'll do absolutely everything we can to bring to them.
Lily
bring them to you, I should say.
Eyeing up the 10-point hold on F1. Taking her time, chalking up a bit, which I think is a good idea because there's a lot of difficulty to come between that 10-point and 25-point top.
Oh, the horrendous press in the corner. Seriously intense on the shoulders as Dario goes again. He seems to have gone backwards slightly in terms of progress. He's got the stees going across there at the moment. He's got it under control.
Casual.
Yeah, he's pouncing nicely actually.
Just needs one go where everything tenses up at the same time, I think. Just looked maybe a little bit too casual towards the end. Good support from the crowd here for Holly Key.
currently on women's number 2, looking really strong through that footless section. Massive amount of front on power, as this is what we want to see. We've had one attempt here so far on the top. Can we see our first top of this competition? Gavin Thomas looking to do something absolutely crazy. Goes for a high foot. They didn't see that one coming. Nothing for the feet at this stage, and a couple of really bad textured holds. Is it going to work? Is that the method? We have been given a bit of root setter insight into that last move of men's number 3, but maybe we'll just hold on to that and let's see how this one plays out.
Not much time left for our athletes now, and you can tell because the goes are getting closer and closer together, those desperate attempts to try and claw any sort of points from this round.
Straight back into it, just a few seconds left. The final 5 seconds. Interesting one over the right hand that time. Could that be the way? See, our timer here is just very slightly off. Doesn't seem to make a huge difference to us though. We've got the audible beeps in the background and all is good. As we head into 8 climbers on the mats now, with Hannah Hunt and Sean O'Connor, the first climbers to get stuck into boulders number 4, and on the stage for the first time it's Stephen Keir and Maya Patel. Loving the shorts, strong look to start. Maya, one of those athletes who's just seemingly been around for a long time as well, even though she's so young. Made lots of different finals and lots of different competitions, and it's really great to see that sort of athlete pathway from the youth coming through and making these senior British Bouldering Championship semi-finals.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe Maya competed at senior European Cups over the last couple of years in bouldering, so knows what the international stage looks like. But over on M1, Stephen is doing something quite crazy. He's opted for feet first.
Yeah, let's see if there's any mileage in that. Boulder number 4, Hannah Hunt, absolutely steady as you like through potential sort of 1-2-3 move. Ended up sort of being more of a 1-2, but this next move looks absolutely wild though. A good 2 or 3 meters to cross, lâché across the bottom of the wall, downwards, almost slightly downwards, leap onto a slab.
Yeah, that one comes from our French route setting guest, Pierre Breuer. Sets for the national French team. He sets internationally a lot. I think he was an Olympic route setter in Paris, so a very experienced route setter.
Yeah, very high standard. Let's hope they've got the level right though. The boulders can look cool, but if they don't produce a result, we've got a situation on our hands. But so far so good, and boulder number 4 for the men's looks fantastic as well. Sean O'Connor was one of the first to get stuck into that, as Maya Patel seems to have found a handhold out of almost nothing there. It's that little screw hole that she's just dug the fingertips into on the right hand.
Will Stephen try and break this boulder again? No.
It's more likely to break some shins like that, I think. Hannah looking so strong on that move, wearing the Catalyst climbing t-shirt, part of the Louis Parkinson sort of setup over in London. Huge black tapes across the groove there, showing that you cannot use any of that section of the wall. Not that you really would be able to, mind you, but it's really to stop you palming in the corner. It's brutal methods from the route setters. Oh, look at that. Absolute
Amazing
styles.
save from Chris there.
Chris not only caught it with one hand, decided to showboat and one-arm campus. Oh, went over with the right hand, just fumbled it actually. You saw the fingertips just rattling around that hold. He really likes what he sees with this one, obviously.
Oh, and Stephen jumping all the way to the 10-point hold. That could also be a good option.
Yeah, I like the look of that.
Simplify the movement a little bit.
Here we go, boulder number 4 from Ireland, Sean. Really pumping hard. 61 degrees I measured this roof earlier. Doesn't get much really steeper than that for competition formats.
No, definitely one of the steepest comp walls out there, I'd say. Hannah's back into this lâché, so she can get the timing right. slightly better, but still letting go at the wrong time.
Yeah, got a lot of distance to make up there still.
And I think it's maybe a commitment thing that's letting Hannah down.
Well, it does look fairly terrifying, to be honest.
I would be the exact same, I think.
Yeah, walk up to the bar. Oh, really?
Yeah, for a Sunday morning.
Oh,
just throw myself at this volume.
Chuck myself across the wall at the depot just to finish off a really brutal weekend.
Yeah. Maya trying to crimp anything she can find.
Yeah, you're not allowed to crimp the T-nut holes, the bolt holes in the wall. Oh yes, here we go. Boulder number 1, bottom left of your screen. First climber to secure the zone hold, or the 10-point hold. Action coming now, because we've got Chris and Hannah going well as well.
Stephen taking his time. He's probably not got much time for many more goes.
Chris on men's 3. We thought he had it, but this is looking good for Stephen. Has had the last hole. He's got to hold it in control with 2 hands. The first potential top here.
That's it. That's the method.
Oh! Absolutely savage as the final 5-second beep goes. I think looking back he's going to be pretty devastated that wasn't the top. The wobble as soon as the 5-second countdown started. Reese Conlon coming out with super experience all the way through all various youth competitions, competing internationally so much recently. And Ruth Johansson.
Yeah, Reese maybe more predominantly a lead climber with European Youth Cup wins to his name.
Yeah, really focusing on that discipline in the last sort of season at least.
But clearly quite handy at bouldering still.
Absolutely. Well,
I think you have to be.
Absolutely. When I was looking through the results last night and just sort of looking into what a lot of the athletes have been up to in the last few months, what you notice is just compared to British Championships of old that most of these climbers are lead and boulder specialists, and the good old days of just knuckling down on some bouldering, really these days you have to be good at both.
Yeah, for sure. You may choose to specialise now that we're kind of done with the combined aspect of the Olympic format, but you get laches on a lead route now, and you get long boulders in a boulder competition, so it really just does pay to be at least competent in both disciplines.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised every time I went onto a social media profile of one of the athletes. A lot of the times it was lead climbing photos that they were front and centre on there, and I was like, oh, I'm looking for British Bouldering Championships action here, as Arlo Levy shows that tremendous arm strength that he's got, that contact strength, also going for a high heel as well. I do wonder if, as this competition goes along, we're going to start to see rubber really building up on top of that hole. That might become a method. That top hole looks absolutely disgusting.
It might also be a bit misleading, as insider knowledge from the route setters is that the left wall is crucial in making that top match work.
I do wonder with the more experienced athletes how they will read that. But when you start to see rubber build up on a hole, automatically you see that as a key piece of evidence in your problem solving, and you might start to follow it.
Yeah, for sure. These athletes have never seen these boulders before. They've come out, they've had no observation time, so they are just trying to get as much information as possible in this 5 minutes as they can, to speed up and to be more efficient in their attempts. So things like rubber on holds is key information that I'm sure they'll read into.
Arlo getting stuck right back into this one, going for that high heel method again. Looking really controlled on that. Oh, fantastic.
Let's see if you can
power
make
with the
it
right
work.
hand. Like that left wall, like you say, Molly, there's nothing on it apart from the friction of the panels itself. Looks like you really want to stab a foot out there. Open up the body to get the match on the final hold.
Ooh, good go from Reese there, looking really springy, just didn't quite land the foot. The hands were all in the right place, but missing that hand-foot coordination.
Nice little 1-2 from Rosie. The open hand drag on those sort of big sloping jugs, but it's the next move really where the money is. Got to build the momentum in the right direction with this jump. Lead with the hips. That's straight out of the parkour route setters playbook, that boulder.
Ruth pressing out, looking up at that zone, and that looked quite close actually.
Yeah, the zone hold is just sort of a splat of paint really on the wall.
Yeah.
There's not much to it. I'm not even sure if it's got any texture on it. It's just a placeholder more than anything. Something to indicate where the 10-point hold is. You see a huge splat on the wall. Pretty much sums up the start of boulder number 4. Oh, the leg wrap as well.
Yeah, Lily looking
Getting
great
involved.
on F2. I think this is a high point so far.
Yeah, the sit-down method. Like this.
And into some pressing action before an evil slot finish.
Reese looking good here. We've just seen previous climber right up in this same position, Stephen Keir. Can he do something with this last move? He's on a fairly decent right foothold. Oh, it's the buzzer again that's going to be the thing that's going to time out, because Reese is looking completely in control. We have a full timeout with climbers still on the wall. Really good rotation. This round is really starting to increase in its intensity already. Not only is there more people in the venue, but boulders are getting close to being topped here as well. Men's number 3 that we have Felix on at the moment seems to be a bit of a favourite for the athletes so far. Number of people getting the top hold with one hand. Jacob Amos then, good to see him out on the wall. Any support online for Jacob? Adding the British Championship semi-finals to some of his sort of GB attributes so far here, Jacob.
Martha doing a great job on F1, teching out that first move and not jumping, and figuring out pretty quickly. She's got a lot of time to figure out how to get this 10-point hold, which has been causing so many athletes issues. And Maya straight up into the zone.
There's that little crossover catch with the right hand, flying into sort of like a Gaston pressed at the top. We have been reliably informed those two white sort of sloping dishes have got really terrible texture on the top of them. This is good progress though from Maya and from Chris. Both climbers from the London area, high up on the wall here at the depot. Chris really locked in on that right toe. It might actually be stuck in that hold there. Either there's the release, and as with so many times, as soon as you release a toe catch, the momentum of the body spins you straight off the wall.
Maya just figuring out how she's going to get her foot where her hand is, because all of her weight is through her left hand right now, and she's going to have to figure that out. And she's wiggling it on.
This is true Maya style, absolute battles on the wall, making sure you use every single ounce of energy when it goes into each of the boulders.
Great to see a few different methods on how to secure that second hold on F1.
Jacob looking all right on that. A little bit of getting the tap going with the 1-2 with the left foot and the left hand, but not really slowing it down the end point of that move on the 10-point hold just yet. It's good to see Martha competing internationally a little bit this year as well, starting that sort of international career. Not really enjoying, like most, boulder number 1, this horrendous groove.
Martha trying something different here, standing up and eyeing up the final hold. I wonder if Martha's going to go straight.
Ooh, yeah, good call, Molly. That does actually look like there's something in that.
Yeah, Martha looks like one of the taller athletes maybe, so definitely looks like it could be an option for her.
Going straight for that method again, really doesn't like the look of the groove off to the right. Imagine this 60-degree roof to finish these boulders and the lache for the women. It's an absolutely brutal round of power. Just look what's involved in each of these boulders.
Yeah, so physical. Felix looking like he's fatiguing for sure, but still managing to catch the jump, which is very cool.
1 minute left then. Can't see the bib number here, but I believe that's Felix going for that top hold again. We're seeing time and time again then the roll over with the right hand on that move. I think we are going to start to see that coming into play.
What's Martha going to go for on this first block?
Oh, good catch as well from Jacob.
Yeah, great work from Jacob.
Looking casual on that foothold as well. Sorry, Molly.
All good. Let's see if he can get this final match in time. The clock is ticking.
Stood up on that like it was a ledge. Last hold is terrible though. Yeah, just really strong on the right foot. Just pushes up and he's looking for a screw hold with the right hand. That might actually work. It's going to be close though. It's going to be really close on the buzzer, this one.
Oh, I think he's found something.
Yes!
Amazing from Jacob.
What a start. Crowd love that. Atmosphere here at the depot just goes up a notch all of a sudden. DJ drops an absolute techno banger at the same time, and we are up and running at the British Championships. I think all that support online for Jacob has worked. Jacob Amos first top. Things are getting close. With the lights down here in the arena, to be honest, I couldn't tell you what the time of day is. With these tunes, basically a night in the club. With absolutely brilliant atmosphere here at the depot.
And out next we've got Sam Hammond and Laura Lieveland.
Yeah, Laura Lieveland, another climber I've seen quite a lot of recently. Used to be Laura Munro, got married recently. Congratulations to her. And is very, very strong. One to watch out for.
Reese looking really good on this slab. He's established well straight away and is taking his time, leaning over. Stay patient, Reese. Come on. Oh.
Did you just say staycation?
Stay patient.
I thought that was a new bit of climbing terminology I wasn't aware of there.
Holly in for this final lache on the final boulder. Let's see if Holly can give it the beans.
Yeah.
With such a big distance, you've really got to generate as much momentum as you can, and I don't think Holly was quite going for it enough.
Yeah, it's full commitment energy required, isn't it? I think as Laura, that's Laura Lieveland, and then first look at this boulder number one.
Ooh, very clean from Laura.
Is Sam Hammond as well, getting stuck in on the left-hand side, just to the left of Laura there. Those two boulders really close together. Sam looking really to build on those first youth medals that he's got this year on the international circuit. I think Dario's just here for the Instagrams, I think, to be honest. He loves the show.
Yeah, clearly very competent at coordination.
Oh,
and
look at that!
That was the closest we've seen to that kind of final position that we know works from the route setters. And it looked like he almost went into it by accident.
Yeah, he was just ripping up there.
Yeah.
Zalo Levy can't really establish on the bottom of number 4, and you can understand why. 60-degree roof, two absolutely terrible little foot jibs to try and pull on. first look at some scores then here on the live stream, as we are starting to get results coming in as the scores build on the tower on the left hand side as this competition goes on. We'll talk you through that and some fancy new graphics that really give an insight as to what the potential for each of the athletes' score is. 8 climbers on the wall at the moment, or off the wall as it may be, more off than on actually, I'm going to say at this stage. Brutal round so far, but as expected here at the British Championships. Local MC really trying to get the tempo going here to try and get some athletes higher on the wall. There is some action happening though. As we cut to Reese, first climber, we've seen this high up on the wall. He has looked really good on that boulder so far. One more move to go and it's to a decent hold. Yes, Reese Conlon, first climber to find a top. Dario almost finds a top as well. Second climber to find a top in this round actually. There's the graphic on the left hand side. Obviously it's 10 points for a zone hold, 25 for a top, 0.1 deduction for every unsuccessful attempt, and the bar that you're seeing there is a darker shade of red for their actual score, with their potential score in the lighter red. It's a new way of us looking at the scores. It's fantastic. It gives an idea of what the climber can potentially get. Really adds to the viewing experience here at the British Championships. And we will be seeing that scoring stack more and more as the round goes on, as points start to come in. So Molly, we definitely know the slab men's 2 is doable now.
Yeah, as is men's 1. Wonder if it'll be done without using a screw hole. I think it will be, but good to know that these boulders are toppable.
Yeah, the door's open now for tops basically. Jacob had that fantastic start. Let's see if he can back it up with something on a completely different style.
Yeah, quite the switch up here for the men from boulders 1 to 2.
Sarah Wednesday will start her campaign on women's number 1. Climber from Exeter, going strength to strength throughout her youth career. On the GB team, really good showing from the southwest here this weekend. A lot of talent coming out of Exeter at the moment. Such a battle on this boulder number 2. You can see actually chalk all over that boulder now. Really wrestling with the volumes, not quite sure which direction to go for Martha. So when you look across the split screen at the Molly, there's so many slips happening early on in these boulders. Gives you an idea of how hard the start of these boulders actually are.
Yeah, the route setters have not made a single move on any of these boulders a gimme. You know, semi-finals has to be quite a challenging round. You've got to bring the number of participants down quite a long way. You know, from 26 or 25 down to 8, that's a big cut-off. So the route setters have really had to make it difficult to get the splits that we need for tonight's finals.
Yeah, but there's no shortage of entertainment in that process. It's been fantastic to watch so far, and we're really early in the early throes of this competition.
Maya making moves on F3 in the roof, and she's almost found that really deep drop knee. Stephen is in the position to match the final hold on M3. Is he going to manage it?
Amy Rafferty, time and time again, is establishing in this swing move the lâcher. Never feel particularly comfortable calling something a lâcher, to be honest. I know that's the in term, but it doesn't sit with me. Anyway, the swing across the wall. Real momentum there from Amy. Looking better, but still miles off establishing into a solid position on the right-hand slab. Like Molly, you said a couple of times now, it's a real confidence move, that one. Sarah and Wednesday Wheels, on the other hand, is also doing battle with this comp wall here at the depot. A number of these boulders require so much smearing onto the panels. It's a textured wall, but it's not that great. Stephen Kidd going really well once again on this last move. It looks absolutely casual up to that point. Let's see how he gets on this time. He's going well, but it is the last move that's causing quite a few problems. Time once again really drifting away for these athletes. Absolute battle mode. It's been... Ooh. Wow. Huge splat.
Fall there for Amy. Hope she's okay. I think she's fine.
Yeah, just off camera, one of the officials has dropped in and she is fine. Just walking away. Great effort. Hell of a way to finish your British Championships.
Yeah, great commitment from Amy there.
And we are going to bring in our head route setter today, Dave Barons. He's going to have a little chat with Molly.
Well, hello, Dave.
Hello, Molly.
Thank you for joining me in the commentary booth.
Pleasure.
How was this experience for you, chiefing?
Oh, a little bit stressed, but it's been good. We've had a good team. Don't know how much of that you caught.
We got you. Yeah, you've had a great team. You've got a lot of experience. You've got a lot of different experiences in that team. Talk about the members of the team.
Yeah, so we've had Pierre, one of the French IFSC setters over, which has been really good to inject a different style into the British usual squirming and...
Yeah, we've still got our squirming, as we can see on F1, which I believe is your boulder.
Oh yeah, that's a great bit of squirming.
But we have also got some crazy coordination moves across the round, so it definitely looks like a varied set of blocks.
Yeah, that's what I always try and do when I chief an event, is to try and get a variety of boulders. So for me, you have the best climber is at the top in all styles, not just at one style.
Yeah, for sure, and I think we can definitely see that on this set of boulders. How are you finding watching it? Is it going to plan?
I think they're somewhere near what we expect at this point of the round.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, it must be really hard to set for such a variety of abilities as well. You've got, World Cup medalists, and then you've got people entering for fun maybe, or youth athletes just coming through. And it must be hard to ensure that everyone has a good time, but you're also testing people. Yeah,
definitely. We'll try and make the first half of the boulder a little bit easier in the context of that boulder. So it might be a medium hard start and then a really hard top to split the top end. So we try and get a split all the way down the field. We'll see if that happens, but fingers crossed.
I mean, I think it's looking good, and I'm really excited to see some of the later athletes coming out later on the mats. Is there anyone you're really excited to see?
Oh, I mean, all of these top boys are all really entertaining. They're really hard to split. They're all so close. So
yeah, you've got quite the challenge on your hands, don't you?
I mean, hopefully my slab will do quite a lot of work. Well, I missed the top that we had on it. So
oh, you missed the reef on this top.
I'll have to go find a replay somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to replay that at some point. But I'm sure we'll see more tops on that slab.
I hope so, yeah.
We've had a lot of people struggling with this final match. Reese is rocking it out.
Oh, yes,
you told me earlier that left foot on the left wall was kind of the key to success.
Yeah, it's like a really tensiony
Oh, that angle really kind of shows how difficult it would be to match that with that right heel. I think Stephen got really close. He managed to like jump into it and stab the left foot out, and it looked like it worked.
So you just have to really push really hard. It's really tensiony, like really shoulder intensive as well at the same time. And
I think that's kind of a key theme with these boulders, is that they're quite subtle, they're quite tensiony, and maybe quite hard to know exactly the right beater just from looking at them on the floor.
Yeah, so you definitely have to feel out what the boulder's telling you a little bit. It's like, it's not always, so we're kind of trying to test the instincts of the climber as well.
Yeah, because that's also a huge element, isn't it? Like, if all the boulders were really obvious and kind of easy to find the method on, it would be way less challenging. And you want to test climbers' observational skills, their intuitiveness, intuitivity with their climbing, like their climbing intuition.
Yes.
Testing everything basically, and so that's why the boulders are maybe a little bit more cryptic. But that's what you come to the BBCs for, right?
Yeah, I mean, all boulder comps, I think like all of them like solving a problem. They also all like doing boulders, but
true. But
unfortunately, in a boulder comp, not everyone can do all the boulders.
No, and the semi-final is usually the toughest round. Am I right?
Yeah, the final tends to be a little more showy, but the semi-final is the hardest one to split because there's, I mean, in this case, 26 men, like
26
down
men,
to 8.
women.
Like,
big cut off. And how did you find setting the qualies?
Qualies was good. Like, again, the level is a bit broader, but it's again making sure we have those achievable zone holds for the people having kind of not so experienced, but still trying to get a bit of a split out at the top end. And maybe it was a tiny bit hard because we got a really good split at the top end.
Oh, I've just heard the crowd get a bit excited.
Yeah, I think it was on the women's floor. I think
someone committed to the
let's shake a little bit nearly stuck it. Reece trying to break his knee again.
Just running out of time. But a great start to this competition for him. Well, I guess he's 3 boulders through now, just the final one to go.
One more to go. And it's such a nice exit to the round. And the 60-degree roof.
I detect a hint of sarcasm.
The route setting team are all really battered from testing in that roof.
Yeah, can you describe the process of setting for an event like this? Because I feel like maybe the public don't quite know what goes on behind the scenes in prepping for an event of this scale.
Yeah, so usually one member of the team will put a concept of a boulder on the wall, and we'll all set one concept for the boulder. So when we say that this is so-and-so's boulder, it was their initial concept. But then as a team, we come through and we'll change it and try different things and go, you can get it this way, and then we'll make it work a way that we want to make it work. And then from there, we can change the difficulty of each move and tweak it to what we want.
Was there any panic tweaking this morning?
Maybe a little.
A little.
A little debate around.
I mean, I guess when was the last time you saw all of these athletes climbing? It must be so hard to kind of know the level without...
Yeah, for me it's been probably nearly a year since I set some of these athletes, but some of the setting team have been setting more recently for them, so that's useful. Like, again, so I can ask them their opinion on and just
difficulty and
hopefully come up with the right answer.
Yeah, well, it looks like you've done a fab job so far. We thank you for your services.
Thanks, Mal.
Really strong, Jacob.
As Dave departs the commentary position, boulders really starting to be challenged here by the athletes, and a really good looking tour of boulders that Dave and his team have put on as Livy Gent starts on women's number 1, really starting to push onto that right hand horrendous little dish. Livy, another climber, has come back into competition climbing and starting to take it really seriously and getting very handy at the same time, part of the KNS squad down in the south. Stephen is having a stormer of a round as well. How brutal that right hand undercut is on men's number 4. We will continue to bring you scores on screen when there's a little bit more to look at, because at the moment this round is absolutely savage. Couple of tops, plenty of 10-point holds, but at the moment this competition's still got a long way to go. So get locked in at home, get the brew on. As we start ramping this one up, it's going to start to get more and more exciting. Climber number 13 at the moment of 25 is out in the women's, Livy. There's that right heel again, Molly. We're seeing it time and time again now. Maybe that is the way.
Maybe that is the way. I guess time will tell.
Such a bunch position though. You're essentially wrapping your heel right around the top of your ear.
Yeah, and Dave said earlier the texture on that final hold is not amazing. So I feel like bringing your hips up with that high heel really just is asking for your hand to grip.
Is not amazing from a root set is another way of saying it's almost non-existent texture.
Yeah, terrible.
Seren just struggling with that slot move with the left hand, a powerful section out of the roof. Just a few seconds to go, sorry.
Stephen
Molly.
looking great on
Absolutely.
his last attempt. He secured that 10-point hold just in the nick of time.
Yeah, points on the board, that's what counts. It was a good round from him.
He looks pretty happy.
Yeah, time will tell as we go through what sort of score is going to make a difference here to make that top 8. 10 points for a zone hold, 25 for a top, and 0.1 point deduction for every failed attempt. You won't have to do that maths yourselves at home though, because we will bring the results as we go through the round. Just as the round continues then, Chris Ghaffari straight off the mats. Chris, a brutal round of boulders, but a great set of boulders.
For sure, yeah, definitely a hard round. Gotta admit I'm a bit out of practice, I think, but nice to be back in semis. Happy to make it at least, and yeah, definitely some things to work on, I think.
Yeah, obviously British Championships is always it's a big event every year. The standard seems to ramp up every single year. Personally, obviously Boulder number 1 for you was a tough experience.
Yeah, for sure. I got a bit out of practice on the slabs at least. Definitely the hopping and the new style. So it came out of the gates flying on that one.
You still managed to get a nice little showboater going on the one-arm pull-up on Boulder number 3 though,
yeah.
with the white sort of disc, sort of slopey jugs.
Yeah, I got to admit, probably should have caught that 2 hands, but happy to have caught that at least and got the zone.
You're only happy if the photographer caught it.
Exactly,
right, as well.
yeah. Otherwise, what's the point, to be honest? So I'll catch up with Sam later, see what he got in terms of that. But yeah, last move on that, really hard. I mean, there still hasn't been topped yet, but what Dario was doing looked like it was close and definitely looks like it would work.
And how has the whole experience been here? It feels to me that there's an intensity in the venue here this weekend with so much on the line with the British team.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Everyone's trying a lot harder, I think. Also, everyone's training much more intense for this sort of competition. They know how hard it is to make semis and to make the finals with such small margins, and especially between the 4 routes here, everything's so minimal, such low percentage slabs and some really tiring overhangs. So trying to stay fit and trying to keep that pressure on for the entire 2 days is key.
What's the vibe been like in the isolation zone? Obviously, it is a British Championship, so most people know each other, but is it bants or is it just like straight down to work?
I mean, I can only speak for the London boys at least, but I think because we've all been competing together for a long time now, there's quite a lot of banter at least. Quite easy vibes, easy going, trying to keep it relaxed as we can, because obviously, even though it is quite mentally stressful, you try and stay as calm as you can. And
Sam Hammond really trying to work hard on these top bowls. You've been up there, like
that sidewall.
How bad are those holds?
That last hold is way worse than it looks on camera. I mean, I've seen some of the lads who have just tried to go for it without any feet on, and if you can't hold that, it's understandable how bad it is.
And do you feel like that left foot on the sidewall, that something's going to have to happen there?
I think so, for sure. After what Reece was trying with the high heel, and he rocked over as much as he could, it didn't look like it would go. So I think left foot on the sidewall, maybe with a palm on the right hand, would definitely finish off that boulder.
Ember Mulhern getting fully involved on women's number 2. What a spectacular set of moves this boulder has as well.
It's a nice little rest position as well. Oh, come on.
Climbers that you've been on the mats with time and times again. Reece Conlon trying to finish his campaign up in the roof. Tom Steele, obviously somebody you've climbed with so many times. You've got Blockfest events down in London.
Yeah, Tom Steele, great progression over the past few years. Super strong in qualies, and nice to see him competing hard in semis.
What's next then for you? Obviously British Championships, a few points on the board.
Exactly.
You've got to look forward to the season.
Yeah. Look forward to the season. Try to finish my uni degree off. Got an exam tomorrow, so going to go home and revise for that now. But there's also some uni worlds at the end of the year, so it'd be really nice to qualify for those out in Thailand.
Nice.
And,
it's an amazing balance to train that hard to obviously stay relevant with this super strong field, but you're going through the whole studying process at the same time.
Yeah, can't say it's been a great 4 years of trying to do both at the same time, but it's nice to still be able to make semis and do it, and so that I've at least got something to give at this moment.
Yeah, Chris, I have to say, thank you so much for coming to join us. It's been an absolute privilege to see you on the wall here again.
Thank you very much.
Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
No tops yet then on 4 on both men's and women's. Spectacular boulders, but super difficult way to finish the round as Reece looks for that sort of right heel toe cam between the green and orange holds right up in the roof. Another good effort from Reece and a huge smackdown. Seen some spectacular falls here. Athletes really putting themselves right on the line. Great effort also from Hannah Mulhern. Ember Mulhern, excuse me. Another 2 climbers from the London region wearing 131, Anya Hamaimoy, and 10, Luca Martins. Anya just going strength to strength recently. Recent winner of the Blockfest event down at the Yonder Climbing Centre in London. Taking her first ever win in that championship just shows that she's on the rise here. Finn Kurzweil and Livy Gent just in shot at the moment as well. Just the level here is insane. Luca Martin's usually fairly open, that he doesn't really like the slabs, and boulder number 1, although fairly jumpy, is sort of based on footwork and really leaning into the wall, and boulder number 2 in the men's as well is a pure bit of slab climbing. So Luca has got his work cut out on these first couple of boulders, but when it comes to pure arm power, there's not many out there in this country much stronger than Luca at the moment. And Anya, she's pretty much the full package, got a little bit of everything. And does it all with real poise, control. Luca with that full energetic style as always, just pouncing across the wall. Regularly climbs 8B on the boards, Luca. So really, really tricky when it comes to jumping across volumes though. Finn Kurzweil on to the slab as Livy Gent. Really looks like she's enjoying women's number 2 at the moment. Finn, another climber, along with Seren Wednesday Wills from the Exeter region. A lot of climbers from the south at the moment on the wall. Interesting from Livy now. Got that blocked slot with the right hand. It looks like she's trying to find a method for switching the hands around. Very, very tiring method. Ooh, another huge backsplat. That's 3 in a row in the last 5 minutes here at the British Bouldering Championships.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of good falls today. Finn just looking like he's looking for holds, and they're just not there.
They are non-existent. Yeah, they're barely visible when you're stood in front of it, but when you're climbing on them and trying to find something to stand on, equally as disappointing. So many attempts going on each of these boulders. It's 0.1 points deduction for every failed attempt. So that is to what we used to call the zone, but the 10-point hold, and to the top. Let's see what Martha makes of this lâché move, the big swing, really high up on the right-hand side of the venue here. Really got to lead with the momentum, lead with the feet and chuck the hips across, but we haven't seen anybody at all really getting the hips within a metre or so of pulling into that slab.
Finn looking really good on this slab, this M2.
Yeah, we've seen Reese Conlon topping this boulder as well, and Finn looking really, really comfortable up here at the moment. I did chat to him quite a bit yesterday and said that he was really keen on the slabs, and that's not going to help. It's a slow boulder as well. Takes a bit of time to get back into that position, yeah, but Finn, one of the few climbers really who really does love a slab, a bit more technical style. He won't be looking forward to the 60-degree roof later, but yeah, technical boulders really do suit him, as Luca and Anya really not really establishing themselves that well on the first boulders at the moment, but not many people have. This is the Senior British Championships. If you have just tuned in with us, we have the Under-17s British Bouldering Championships going on in the room next door. That one is not live streamed, but it looks really good across the hall. This is the seniors, which is under-19s onwards. There's quite a number of young athletes, but it is a lot of the senior GB team here today. A lot of major names that we're used to seeing on the International World Cup circuit still to come. The likes of Jack McDougall, Diane Akhtar, Hamish and Max in the men's, Emma Edwards, Lucy Garlick. So many strong climbers still to come. And we've got a new guest for one rotation here. Got Monty James.
Hello Monty, thanks for joining me in the booth.
No problem.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Enjoying the comp so far.
Yes? Did you compete yesterday?
I did, yes.
How did you find it?
Some tough boulders, I'd say.
Tough boulders.
I enjoyed the slabs.
Slabs, okay.
The men's 2 looks fun today.
Yeah, that's the boulder you would choose if you were to...
Yeah, I think so. Or women's 4 looks really good as well.
Women's 4. Women's 4 looks very tricky. We've not really seen many people get established through that lâché, but I'm sure it'd be a fun one to practice at trainers.
Yeah. Yeah. Which one's your favourite so far?
I think I would probably like F3, which we haven't seen much action on. I'm more of a power climber, more burl, so it looks like a really interesting mix of tension and burl, and like a little bit more complicated than it maybe looks at first glance. But hopefully we'll get to see some people advancing through that climb later on.
Got Ember on it currently.
Yes, Ember
giving it a
on
good effort. Scottish climber. Based in Ratho and Eden Rock. So
yeah, we've got a good mix of locations here. We've got people all the way from Inverness, people from Ireland, people from down south.
Down in London, all the way down to Exeter.
All the way
Finn
down
and
to Exeter.
Sarah.
Indeed, and you are part of a squad?
Yeah, the White Spider squad. So
how is it coming to this event as part of the squad? Does it feel Is it like important to you to have that support?
It's nice having the coaches there to support you and all your other friends. It was a long day yesterday. I didn't climb until 7 o'clock in the evening, so
yes,
there wasn't many people left in the centre. But it's still nice to have that atmosphere and obviously cheer on everyone in the semis.
Yeah, your teammates stayed to support you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday was a really long qualification day. I think it started at 9 o'clock in the morning or something and didn't finish until
9 o'clock in the evening, I think, around then, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. It shows the interest in, British comp bouldering at the moment. 100%. I think this is like a record-breaking entries. They had to actually extend the deadline or open up more entry spots so that people could participate, which is really cool to see that development. And I think it was our highest ever turnout for senior female, so exciting news on that front.
Yeah. This female one's looking tricky. It looks like lots of people are close, but just not getting into that 10 zone.
Yeah, I think it's even more difficult because the zone hold, there's nothing to it really. It's more just like a marker of where to put your palm on the wall. But because it's marked as a zone, I think people are trying to hold it, and that's what is almost like misleading people.
I think we saw Martha at the start almost try and just go straight for the top.
Yes, which looked like it could work if you were relatively tall. And I guess that's like why Dave is so good at setting it. It looks like it should be an easy boulder, but it's actually way trickier than first glance would have you expect.
Onto the lache. Just need to push their hips more up, I think. It's all about power there, getting through that swing.
Yeah, and timing. I think no one's quite nailed that timing where your hips are really close to the wall. Everyone's had a bit of a straight leg, like kicking against the volume, which, you're just not going to get enough weight over your feet to find a stable position.
Faye on female 2 here.
Yeah, just kind of fighting with that 10-point zone hold. She needs to get her left hand in that slot.
We saw Ember earlier just wrap her whole leg around that hold and try and fight for it.
Meanwhile, Sean is trying to break M1. We saw this earlier, someone attempting this, but it didn't work for them. But can Sean make it work?
It looks like the jump's the way, I think, on that one.
Yeah, that's a very well set boulder. Uncheatable.
Who was that one by? Do you know?
That was Nathan Phillips' concept.
Nathan Phillips, yeah.
Tested and tweaked by the team. But Sam looking... I think it's Sam. Yeah, Sam Hammond looking really good on men's 4. Let's see if he can convert that 10-point zone hold into a top.
Well, and Tomo just slipping off the top there of men's 2. Men's 3.
We have had a couple tops today. Not many. We are still waiting for most of our boulders to be topped, but... we definitely had a top on M1 and M2.
100%.
Still waiting for some tops in the female game, but I'm sure they are coming out later.
What's your thoughts on men's 4, this orange and green boulder?
It's a very powerful looking boulder. I think it's hard to the zone, and then the zone to the top looks extra hard. So I think you need some big guns to be able to do that.
Getting on the start and driving through those feet looks really, really quite tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've seen that quite a bit across this set, just even establishing in the start position or the first moves being really tricky. So route setters have not made it easy for our athletes. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Monty. We're going to get Mike back in the booth.
The revolving door of people and guests in the booth. Monty's out, I'm back. And plenty of exciting climbers still to come. Action starting to kind of really ramp up now. Louise Flockhart, ex-British team, actually now working marketing down in the Big Smoke in London. On the right-hand side of the top screen there in the sort of navy t-shirt. Or is that purple? Not sure. Anyway,
it's a purple one.
Louise.
But, I mean, yeah, we know it's Louise.
And she's really, really strong. And she had a really good qualifiers yesterday. Actually came out really late on in the session. Qualifiers yesterday went from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. And Louise was one of the ones come out sort of mid to late afternoon, as Finn Kurzweil's looking for this top once again, now awkward with the right foot in the pocket.
Let's see if Finn can make it work. Just trying to find a different grip position that would allow that right foot method to work, but it just seems like it's not the way.
Yeah, almost when you put the right foot up, it's pushing you out at the same time. Aidan Dunn, another one of those climbers who we seem to have been commentating on for years now. Back in the business end of a competition here at the British Championships. Livy Gent going really well this round. Really powerful climber, but that roof section, super steep, pinchy sidewalls with not really much for your feet.
Louise throwing some shapes on F1.
Yeah, fully getting on board the struggle bus.
So we have some scores on the screens, and you can see just how many tops we've had. It's not many, is the answer.
Not many. Maybe Finn can add to that count. The lighter shade of red there is their potential score that they can still get. Second climber on that bar, we can see, can still catch up with Reese, who's currently leading the way at the moment. Top 8 go through to tonight's final. There's another look. Jacob Amos can actually go past him. Looking at that graph, Seren with a huge swing across the corner, much more momentum in the leg swing, full commitment.
But I think Seren's going to have to be a bit careful, because it looked like the method she was going for was to kind of press back into that corner, which we know is not allowed, as it has been taped out with black tape.
Yep.
And if you don't know, black tape basically means you can't put any limbs there.
Yeah, fully out of bounds, can't touch. So it's a bit of a harsh one from the route setters. Really making the most of this comp ball here. You know, it's a big venue, but they have to squeeze the boulders in slightly. And here we go. Louise looked like she's going to try and go direct with 1 minute to go. Seren looks really comfortable on that swing, but again, she's going for the sort of two foot land.
Yeah, she's giving it a good amount of commitment, I think. Maybe like the best we've seen so far. Just maybe not quite the right method. Finn is back up into this final position. It's heartbreaking watching all of these men get all this way.
But in that position there, everything's pushing you left, but the hold is facing the opposite direction. It's really hard to get some opposition against that finish hold. To 53.6 points from Reese, and Laura Leveland 19.8 to go. Remember, it's 10 points for a zone, 25 for a top, 0.1 points for a deduction for every unsuccessful attempt.
Gate crashing. Can I gate crash?
Next rotation then. Ember Mulhern from Ireland will be tackling the fourth and final boulder. Pretty sure that's Toma Crew to her left. Another one of the Catalyst team going well this weekend. Somewhere, two very, very exciting climbers starting their campaign. Both of them from the London region again. A really strong showing here from the capital.
And Iggy is straight up to the top of this first boulder.
Iggy Rinaldi with a technique there straight away. A really great route reader that with the right heel, and Javier Sigham wasn't on an absolute flyer yesterday. Very, very impressive qualification. Again, late on, kind of like we saw with Louise Flockhart. A lot of the good climbers had done their boulders and had 3 or 4 hours back at the accommodation before Javier had even stepped onto the mat. So, yeah, a real late bolter from Javier and showing his talent once again.
A little bit of confusion in the chat about how many people go through to finals. It is 8.
Yeah, it's 8, and it's a World Cup style format. They call it the waterfall format. So 8 climbers, the first 4 climbers come out, climb on their own, and when the 5th climber comes out, the person who comes out first goes on to the second boulder. So at times during the finals we'll have 4 climbers on the wall at once, because men's and women's final is run simultaneously. 4 climbers, 50% of the action that we've got to deal with here at once at the same time, as Javier looks really good. Really strong stand-up move again, as we're seeing on men's number 1. Confidence from Javier. See the right leg just shaking very slightly. Ember's just got to rotate slightly at the moment, swinging backwards to where she wants to be heading.
Javier's found the left heel, but not quite locked it in.
It's interesting though, he's in such a comfortable position setting up for that move.
Looked like he tried to add a bit of coordination into that and time the heel locking in and grabbing that 25-point top hold, but I think it's something that can be pre-placed.
Connie Bridgen's really battling out there at the moment.
Yeah, of course, there is the title of British champion on the line, but there's also World Cup quota places that these athletes are fighting for, so it's a big weekend.
Certainly is, and what we heard from Chris Cafario earlier as well is some of these guys are studying at the same time or working jobs like Louise. You know, it's a big weekend, but it's straight back to business on Monday morning as well. A lot of the huge hitters coming a little bit later, with professional full-time climbers on the way soon, but it's yeah, it's a really, really interesting field. Iggy kind of flying over to that non-existent plate on the right-hand side. Just to remind you of the scoring tower there, the graphic is the darker red, or the brighter red, showing their current score, and their potential score, which is fantastic to see, in the lighter shade of red. So it gives us an idea of where people can still go to. If there's no lighter shade of red after the name, it's because their round has finished.
Yeah, we have Reece Conlon leading the way with 2 tops. It's the first person, or second person to top the first boulder for the men's, and he also topped the slab. So that's put him in really good stead. Yeah, and as you said, considering he's been focusing on lead recently, that's really impressive from Reece. He'll be happy with that, but will it be enough? Oh, Tom Steele just flew to the left hand, did stab the left foot out. Connie trying to get out of that sort of world of pain that she was in a moment ago on the floor. Action coming all over the place here. Javier just cannot find a top. His hands have been on that top hold multiple times, but he is going to time out. So we've just had Mike leave us and Jake Mason join us.
Hi Molly, how you doing? Oh,
good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, great. Fill me in. I have no idea what's going on with the adult round.
With the adult round, so you've been in charge of setting for the juniors?
Not in charge, but I'm on the under-17 team. Yeah.
How's that been going?
Yeah, so far so good. Perfect splits.
Amazing. Sounds like you've absolutely nailed your job.
Just a few crying children, but you know, that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, as Mike was saying earlier, we have the Under-17 British Bouldering Championships happening at the same time. Unfortunately, it's not on the live stream, but it is happening in the room next door. So keep your eyes peeled online to see how things are going over there.
Going well so far.
But going well so
cool.
far.
These kids
Insider
are so
information.
Strong. It's insane.
Yeah, it is really cool, and that's something I love about having the British Championships for under 17s and seniors on. Oh, is that Luca about to maybe
Luca.
get our first top on? Oh, he was so close to finding that body position to make that work. We've had a lot of men in that position where they've just, not so much with the correct body position, but just fighting for the match on that top hold.
I mean, it's always a tell. If the zone and the top are one move away, it must be a super hard move.
For sure. And Dave was saying that the key to success on that move was having the left foot smearing on the left wall, which I feel like they've been very tricky and clever in misleading you with these two massive potential footholds.
Yeah, totally.
But actually, you want to get that shoulder and contort yourself with the left spear.
Yeah, for sure. Weird body positions, that's the way.
Yeah, and as we can see with Louise here, weird body positions is kind of a theme of this semi-final. Seen a lot of squirming, although Louise looks relatively comfortable right now.
Yeah.
She's found herself a seat. But
I think Nathan said this, actually don't know for sure, but Nathan said this was his attempt at a true British boulder.
yes, this was Nath's concept of setting some British squirm, which is quite a good effort on this really steep comp wall.
I don't think you'll see this in the World Cups, will you?
No, and that's something we kind of love about British bouldering champs. We still retain a bit of character. I'd say. You've got all the lâchers and trendy moves, but also there we
Top
go.
From Lucas.
Top from Luca. I don't think we quite saw it, but
how many tops have you got so far in the adult round? Do you know?
so this is the third top of the men's round and the round in general. We've not had a female top yet. The root setters have really gone in and made it a tricky round, but when the level is so high,
you have to.
You kind of have to.
Yeah,
we have to take it down from 26 in the men and 25 in the women to 8.
Tops will start tumbling within the last 4 or 5 guys, I reckon.
For sure. We've got some big names coming out like Diane and Hamish and Max, as well as Emma Edwards, Zoe Petermans, Lucy Garlick.
Oh,
Nathan looking really good on this, but he's definitely not got his feet in the that's it, that's more like it.
I have a feeling
Can he get the heel
you're not
in?
supposed to be able to hold that last hold.
I think it's
just a touch.
It's just about good enough, but the key to making this work is locking in this weird heel-toe cam between the zone hold and the wall.
Ooh.
Oh, and Louise looking really close on F2. A typically British finish going into a blind slot. There's your British character in a boulder, huh?
That was a last-minute decision last night. We were here until 11:30. I was mostly watching, but
watching,
the adult team were
working hard,
testing and working hard until 11:30. It was good vibe here last night, and good vibe here today. It's cool.
Yeah, there's a great atmosphere in here, and yesterday was a really long day. Well, Aiden in for a top on the slab. Nicely done.
Never in doubt.
Another one. They are coming in thick and fast now.
Right, Mike, you got to go do some work. I need to go back and see my round.
Thanks for joining us, Jake.
Thanks for.
Livy Gent then with the last couple of seconds just to try and establish something on the fourth and final boulder. No tops on that, and no one really looking particularly close either. Number of times that athletes are getting high up on the wall quite easily, but trying to develop that into some points.
Yeah, and we have quite a few boulders that have got the 10-point zone as the penultimate hold, which means athletes having to do a lot of climbing for minimal reward.
Yeah, depending on how this round goes, will it be a high-scoring round or a low-scoring round? You know, a few zones here and there, some potentially maybe 4 zones could be enough. Was in from the qualifiers to get into this semi-final, zones was enough.
I think we're going to see quite a big drop, or like the top athletes having really high scores in this round and then not needing that much to kind of scrape into finals maybe.
Yeah, the cut-off, 8 places. It used to be 6 in a World Cup, now it's 8. You know, that door is open a little bit more. And potentially attempts could become relevant on those 10-point zone holds as well. One name at the top of that list who's now going to be battling out on the second boulder, Iggy Rinaldi, did top women's number 1. So an early sort of bolt out the doors for Iggy, and she looked confident on it right from the get-go. There she is, bottom left, wearing 157. Seems to have got loads of international experience already. Such a young age, competing in the Youth World Championships, Youth World Cup circuits.
I was going to say, Faye looks like she's got a really good set-up swing going on, but she just killed the momentum there, just maybe getting a little bit nervous. It is a very intimidating move.
It's going to be really interesting when we get some of the bigger names who we may have seen at the World Cups onto that move later, where there is a confidence difference, just as Faye swings into that move in the right hand, left hand, touches the out of bounds tape that we mentioned a few times. Really good battle there just from Sean Henshin. Absolutely gassed coming off the top of women's number 3 as Iggy once again looks good. She's found that arete with the right hand. She has one of those abilities to just stay on the wall for a long time and figure it out. That sort of route climbing endurance really, really works for Iggy, and always just seems to find a way. She's one of those climbers with a lot of guile on the wall and just really keeps working at her game all the way through the 5-minute rotation. For that last move is a really tricky one on women's number 2.
Faye had a really good go just then on F4. Looked like she found the right body positioning. Hopefully she has a little bit more confidence in that method now for her next go.
There's Sean again going for this last move. He's had a bit of a lie down on the mat, trying get some wind back in his sails, but that's that same method again with the right heel that's caused so many problems here today. It's a pretty demoralising start to the competition. Boulders number 1 proving so difficult with only a couple of tops. Only one top on women's number 1 at the moment. As Iggy just out of ideas on the top of number 2. Really looking forward to seeing more of women's number 2. As Faye goes again across this corner, it's absolutely wild. Wowzer.
Faye just losing that left hand at the wrong time and
my God,
taking a bit of a sketchy fall.
We've
Hopefully
had
she's
2 or
okay.
3 real slams on that boulder so far, and an audible holding of breath as Faye slapped into the mats there. She is back up and having another go, but did hold the back of her neck as she approached the wall. Tom Steele getting amongst it as well, right next to her on his 4th and final boulder.
And Sean is back up and trying something wacky.
Just try anything.
I thought he was going to really push through that left side wall, but final goes from people, and that looked quite close for Faye in the end, but I'm impressed she got back on the wall after a fall like that.
Yeah, that one's going to sting in the morning, I think.
Yeah.
Eugenie Lee, certainly familiar face to so many of the fans out there. Multiple podiums, whiff champion from last year as well. Once again, really at the fighting end of a climbing competition here in Britain. Eugenie, great to see her still battling away for those international, well, the chance to go and compete internationally.
Aidan straight up to the top of this third men's boulder, but
it's actually turning out to be a really interesting boulder. It sort of looks so basic,
yeah.
Just a couple of holes, but it's actually really interesting.
Jack McDougall straight into the top of this first boulder as well. If I was to pick a boulder for him, it would be this one that he
Jack's
would
boulder.
get on board with, and just making it look so easy, although struggling to find something to grab onto, but he's found himself a screw hole.
A couple of screw holes will do.
But really cool that he saw that heel toe cam straight away. He knew exactly what he was doing and just executed.
Yeah, that's the experience showing there. Obviously, Jack,
previous British bouldering champion.
Yeah, current British bouldering champion until some point today. Maybe he can go back to back.
Would be cool.
Yeah, just 20 years old and just an crazy 2025 World Cup season. Just exploded onto the scene.
Made World Championship finals last year, so he's coming off the back of a really good season.
Yeah, big things to come from Jack, hopefully, as Eugenie Lee looks really in control, and all of a sudden you can see that step up in talent on the mats. Left foot that Eugenie's standing on there is an upside down dual texture foot halter. It's just a slippery edge essentially, and you've got to palm under those volumes and push up into that top hold. Which is a block slot of all things, so there's no jokes in the end of this boulder. Interestingly, with Jack, obviously he made light work of that last boulder, potentially qualified a little bit lower than he might have expected out of yesterday's qualification round, down in 6th. Unless he was just, dropping a gear today, just took it easy yesterday potentially. Got more to come.
I think pressure drops a little bit maybe the further along you get for these athletes. They know that anything can happen. They can make enough mistakes to not progress to the next round, but it's just kind of one round at a time for this lot. And
Aiden digging that right heel in to try and find the right position, but that volume just looks absolutely garbage.
Izzy Edgington going for a more dynamic method for this first move, but looked very secure.
Yeah, ignoring the sort of right volume that a lot of them are trying to stand on, but the power in the left arm.
That was all front wheel drive, that. But it almost worked. I think you should be lucky to get the zone on that attempt, but definitely came really close.
Anya Hermimoy looking to finish off her round. If she could find a top here, it would be massive considering it's such a low scoring round so far in the women's competition. One top puts you at the top of the pile at the moment. Really interesting hand sequences, different people trying different things to get this swing across the corner, and we know, we've talked so many times about having to go at it with full enthusiasm and a lot of desire to put your body on the line, because we've seen 3 or 4 big hits now on that boulder. It is a very, very scary move.
Wow, and Izzy makes her method work on F1.
Power there. Are we going to see a second top here on women's number 1? Got to get out of that groove.
Another powerful lurch out of the groove.
Look at the techers here, though.
She can somehow static her way out.
Just see the right foot, just talking and twisting, just trying to find a tiny bit of extra force through that foot to pull her across to the left. Oh, the smeg in the corner. The slow death out of the corner. Great effort, but running out of time. Luca needs something massive here as well. I mean, if there's any boulder that would suit him, you would have thought it's this. He has got one top to his name, which does put him high up in the leaderboard at the moment, but there's a lot of very strong climbers about to come, and Luca needs something massive here. Last couple of seconds, it's a tough ending from Luca, and he goes away with massive frustration. And Isabella Edgington doesn't find the top. Interesting. As we can see from the scores tower then, 2 tops from Reese is equivalent, plus a bunch of attempts lost to 53.6 points, and it's 1 top in a zone really in the women's at the moment that gets you places. As the big names really start to come flowing out now from the isolation zone. Izzy Bridgens wearing 128 starts down on the left hand side of your screen, along with Diane Akhtar. The internationals that we've seen sort of week in, week out throughout the summer competing internationally now are on the mats. Have to feel there really, Molly, with that swing move that was just sort of a slight bailout halfway through, so I really don't fancy this.
Yeah, you could see on Connie's face that she did not really want to commit to that move, and I don't really blame her. And she might, I don't know if she's asking for it to be brushed or if I think she's checking what's out of bounds, which is good because a lot of people have been trying to use that section of the wall. And you know, every attempt counts in this round, especially when the scores are so low. Now you can see how tight it is between 3rd and 8th and 9th even in the women's field.
Here's Harvey. Oh, the leg lock, the wrap, just get it all on board. Stabs that left toe out as well, but again slides. Right method, just got to find the execution.
Iggy making good progress on women's 3. We've not really seen anyone in a position to be jumping for that guppy volume. And Diane straight up to the 25 top hold. Can he be patient and find himself a screw hole?
Nicely done from one of the stars of the 2025 World Cup season. Real talent on the wall there. I feel if anybody was listening at the very start of this programme, my somewhat wild prediction and hope that someone might try and jump from start to finish on men's number 1 looking absolutely unlikely.
I mean, we still have Hamish to come. I think if I was going to put money on anyone trying something like that, it would be Hamish.
Yeah, I think I'd eat my own hat if that happens. Harvey looking like he's fading in this round, and he's got one very, very steep boulder to come. It's amazing how much power you can put down on 2 boulders that were technically slabs. There's some fatigue from yesterday's qualifier as well. As I said earlier, Harvey was qualifying quite late on in the afternoon, so a good 4 or 5 hours less rest than some of the top athletes. The order they came out yesterday was based on the previous year's seedings.
Izzy Bridgens is up in that corner.
Different method as well, with the left foot sort of planted on top of the blue volume. That'll do though.
Really good.
Take that.
Solution there from Izzy Bridgens, maximising her flexibility.
Willow going really well on this boulder, really quickly through that lower section. No tops yet on this boulder. That hold that she's palming down with the left hand at the moment, that's the one they've got to stand on as they progress through this next move. Got to make space by moving the left hand or up for the left foot to go, but you can see how bad that foothold is.
Willow having had a back injury for quite some time, probably not enjoying this sort of movement so much, but it's great to see her back on the mats.
Big support for Harvey in the crowd, and that's the method that he's looking for, but can he finish it off with just a few seconds to go? Cannot. So brutal. He's off the top floor 3 or 4 times there from Harvey.
Out next, we have 2 previous British bouldering champions, Zoe Petermans and Sam Butterworth.
What does that do to the mindset as you go into a competition like this, do you think? Does it play any part?
I think hopefully it gives them some confidence, like they've stood on the top step before. Hopefully they think they can do it again. But these 2 are part of Precision Climbing, a really strong training group, and they're also just training around the British team a lot as members of the team, and so I think they just know the level, they know where everyone's at, and have come into this with an idea of maybe where they stack up, but also, you know, anything can happen at an event like this, so hopefully some confidence that if they go out and have a great day, they could come home with the title.
Isabella Edgington showing immense power there, just campused off the volume to a slot. Really looked in peak physical fitness coming into this.
Meanwhile, Eugenie, I think you can see her in the corner of your screen, is making moves on F3. Definitely a high into that 10-point zone, but here we have a really tensiony, tricky, kind of quick match.
Yeah, really Tekka's on the feet through that volume, but like you said, Molly, that's the first climber we've seen really make any moves high up on that boulder. You feel like that boulder is going to be critical to a position in this finals tonight.
Yeah, Eugenie doing a lot of climbing in this round. Definitely being up past our 10-point zone holes, but just not quite translating it into a top. Hopefully she can make it happen on this 3rd boulder.
Zoe Petermans then, as Molly said, ex-champion of this event, so rounded in her technique and climbing in experience, lead and boulder. Just trying to find that sweet spot with the right heel. Oh, moves really well. Oh, just past the tipping point there. Oh, was Nathan Whaley, finished 8th at the British Championships last year. Was he wearing number 8? Qualified in 8th as well. It's the 888 for Nathan Whaley, excuse me. Nathan Phillips, that's one of the route setters. But Nathan Whaley is really back at the top end, fighting weight now for Nathan. Let's see what he can do on boulder number 3. Eugenie Lee then and Zoe Petermans both on screen at the moment. This is what we want to see from Eugenie at women's number 3. Really not much to pull into for the feet as Zoe goes past that tipping point again on number 1. Smart work here from Eugenie. Really just hunting around for the right position here. Eugenie Lee, absolute drain of a boulder.
Yeah, definitely thinking outside of the box.
Louise trying to finish things off here. This huge swing across the corner. Will we see a top, Molly? What do you think, women's number 3 and 4?
I think there's potential on both boulders. I think we've got Emma Edwards coming out, and she's very good at that coordination style. Zoe Peterman's very strong as well. Hopefully she can finish this first boulder off and then show us how to do number 3 as well.
Yeah, she's been in the last move twice, 2 or 3 times here, Zoe, and she's really running out of time.
But she's opted for a different method this go, the same as what we saw Izzy Bridgens doing, so maybe she can kind of just tip over and match, because it doesn't need to be on the there we go.
Shows experience there from Zoe.
Yeah.
Didn't let the pressure get to her.
No, and changed method just in time.
Yeah, she had 10 seconds or so left there, and kept it together. That was really impressive from Zoe. Stood back, had another look, and came up with a new technique that worked. from the stack there. You can see Reece Conlon's leading the way, but Jack McDougall, Diane Akhtar, there's still got plenty of boulders still to go, and you can see from the light red bar that that's the potential. They've still got full potential for 4 tops. Isabella Rinaldi going well out there at the moment. She's on the last boulder. Lucy Garlick making light work of this at the moment on women's number 1. Molly, Lucy just seems to get better and better and better.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like she's been a young, promising athlete for forever now, but it's great to see her operating at the top of the senior field.
Yeah, promises delivered. Izzy Bridgens, you're wearing 128, currently looking a little bit more comfortable than we've seen a number of the other athletes there, kind of loading that left foot and really hunkered down on it as well, coming low underneath the press. Of women's number 2, starting to turn the corner.
Yeah, great.
Better.
Great idea to reach down and use that zone, and just misses the slot.
Yeah, you do wonder if there's a slight rush there, as Iggy on the previous attempt was actually really close on this move. First climber to really establish on the slab. Oh, amazing. Oh. That was the moment of the British Championship so far in the semi-final. Incredible. Absolutely incredible swing across the wall, and the catch from Isabella Rinaldi, one of the smallest athletes in the field. Just launched it across the wall. Almost got so excited to drop the next move, but hopefully she can get back up there.
Yeah, I wonder whether Iggy will show us that you can stop on that middle hold, or whether it has been set that you have to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, maybe that was
towards the 10.
Almost perfect route setting there, because she hit the middle hold, the landing hold, but it suggested you have to fire straight to the finish hold. What a move this would be. Oh, and sticks it.
And just, it seems like it's hard to keep the feet once you stop on that middle hold, and so maybe it has just been perfectly set.
Route setter Pierre Breuer from France just next to us. That's his boulder. He's been waiting all day to see something happen on this boulder, and gives us a shy little grin. He thinks we're in for spectacular scenes to finish this British Championships semi-final round.
Come on, Iggy, let's see it. And she stopped. Can she translate it?
Oh, amazing. What a boulder, what a climber.
I think we have one happy route setter now.
Route setter.
Pressure's off.
Zips up his route setting toolbox and walks away. He's happy. And it was a great show. Very, very scary to watch, but ultimately spectacular. And that's the balance that the route setters are having to play with all the time.
But I think it was one of those moves that looks really scary until someone does it effortlessly. Like, the more commitment, in a way, the better it looks. But
yeah, first top of number 2 as well. Izzy Bridgens. Top's coming thick and fast all of a sudden. Really nice work, the way that she crept around that feature. The penultimate black volume, stayed really low on it and worked her way towards the top hold. Second place finishes from qualifying out next. Then the big hitters, Hamish MacArthur and Lucy Garlick. It should be Emma Edwards, actually, because we got one more male athlete than female. So 8 climbers on the wall at the moment. That will now be reducing back down to the final 2 at the end of this round, when we have Max Milne, who will be on the mats on his own to finish this round off. I'm sure he will love that.
Yeah, for sure. Jack McDougall, number 1 from last year. Easily jumping into that first donut hold. Can he figure out this top?
It's a real scrap, this last move, isn't it? There's no pretty way of doing it, seemingly. Just campus around until you can find something that sticks.
A proper drainer. He's opting for high feet. Jack is very flexible, so if there was someone who could make it work, I'd say it'd be him.
Trying to go really high into the shoulders. It's Nathan Whaley looking strong on men's number 4. Sorry, Molly.
No, and Emma also looking really good on F1 and just undershooting that final hold.
Yeah, that little tip across the corner. We've seen more success trying to do it statically and essentially not using the hold at all. We're just giving it the 2 fingertips to finish. There's no gimme moves out here at all. Every move is just absolute money. Jenny Lee not really enjoying the finale of this round at the moment. A huge jump across the corner.
But off screen we did have Emma Edwards with her first top of the round. I'm sure with more to come.
Women's 3 then, the only boulder out there at the moment in the women's competition not topped as Jack McDougall goes into full fight mode. His instant replay at the moment of where he's been before. Interestingly, not finding something there. This could be a fairly big moment in the competition for Jack. Chopping over with the right hand there, Isabella Edgington. Suggestion from the route setters on the women's number 3 that you might want to jump with your left hand as well. So every boulder, like we said, is really quite cryptic. Zoe just creeping the foot around the fingers there.
Absolute backbreaker of a boulder.
Absolutely brutal. Jack looking for something slightly different this time, going with the right foot. Yes, for Jack. Better.
Amazing, makes it work. And I guess the key to that was the guppy.
Yeah, flipping the right hand up a little bit higher and bringing the right foot down a bit to open up the box. giving himself a bit more space to move the right hand up, and yeah, again, composure, using that experience that he's developed in the 2025 World Cup season. Interestingly, Hamish McArthur not finding a top on men's number 1. One of the big favourites going into this round, but obviously didn't enjoy the hop, skip and a jump to the left. Somebody who might, though, just caught a glimpse of him there, the final climber out in the men's competition, Max Milne. Women's boulder number 1 is done and dusted. That has certainly achieved its job.
Max back in the game after a recent foot injury caused by jumping along or down onto some volume, so let's hope that he's okay today. I'm sure he's worked really hard with his team and rehabbed as best as possible. He's done a lot of camping.
Seems a pretty incredible recovery, actually. Yeah, but like I say, maybe that's placed slightly in the back of his mind. Willow Petrobelli tries to get stuck into this last boulder. Tops now could be massive. It will get you into the final pretty much. Easier said than done, though. Lucy Garlick tries to use that cool, calm, composed methodology that she has on women's number 2. 1 top so far on that.
Willow
just bailing
out.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, Max not long back into the competition game after breaking his foot. I think he is all good now, but I think it was the left foot, so a left-facing jump is slightly more, I guess slightly less than ideal for him, but I'm sure he's got it in him.
Yeah, if he had any doubts about injury, do you think he would he get out there?
Wow. Now that's a strong left hand.
Yeah, Diane's just juiced everything out of that top hole. That was insane level of pinch power. Yeah, I was just going back to that question. I do wonder, would you put yourself on the line at this stage if you had any doubt about injury? I mean, you've been there.
I've definitely been there, but Max has done a few more fun, friendly competitions recently, so I'm sure he's back to full fitness and health. He's been climbing in a climbing shoe for a little bit now, so I think he's all good, but I also think Max is sensible enough not to risk it. So, you know, as much as the British Bouldering Champs is important for him, he is pre-selected for World Cups next year, and I'm sure he's got really big goals on the international stage, so he'll definitely be having that in mind.
Yeah, whatever he's eating for breakfast, to want some of it with a recovery that fast. You know, historically this has been his bread and butter, this sort of style as well, and Hamish before him also struggling on men's number 1.
Yeah, these athletes have been in isolation for quite a long time now. I think isolation closed at 8:30 this morning, so, you know, coming out to climb about 4 hours after being like locked in that room, I guess. I'm sure these two are pros at it, but maybe they're just a bit need a bit of time to get settled into the round.
So much going on there with the feet for Max's method. Is sort of 1, 2, 3, 4 foot plants.
Yeah, Max is so good at coordination that I find that sometimes he often overcomplicates it in a way because he is so technically able at it, and when he does it looks incredible, but hopefully he can simplify this move and get it done.
Let's go, Max, come on!
Oh, Jamie had a good go there, but just looking like he's powering out a bit. It has been a long day and a long weekend for these athletes. 12-hour qualification round yesterday. 4 absolutely brutal blocks today, with another round still to go later today at 6:30. Bit of a surprise, Max not managing to get the zone on this first boulder, but there's still 3 more boulders left to go for him. The final men's block looks pretty burly and campusy, and we all know he's pretty good at that now. So hopefully he can give us our first top on that. Mike has just gone to see if Iggy will come and chat to us on the live stream. It's always great having the athletes give us their experience of the round, because we are sat here comfortably watching the stream just like you. And we have no real idea how hard these boulders are. Hamish straight into that starting position on the slab. Can't underestimate the difficulty in that. Let's see if he can slowly make his way across and up this boulder. So we have Iggy joining us on the stream. Hello, Iggy.
Hi.
How are you feeling now that you finished your round?
I'm pretty shocked. It was a result I definitely wasn't expecting coming into this competition. I really enjoyed the blocks and I just had loads of fun.
Yeah, you weren't expecting to do so well today?
No.
Well, it was great to watch you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we're just seeing Jack absolutely walking up the power boulder. That is so cool to see.
Very cool.
Jack probably wouldn't say that the power blocks were his thing, but he's worked so hard to get stronger over the last year or so, and it's really nice to see all of that hard work kind of paying off, and him, you know, getting up, being the first person to do this boulder.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
Really cool. But back to you and your round. What was your favourite boulder?
I'm going to have to say the last one.
I think that was our favourite moment of the semi-final so far.
Yeah.
It was so great to see you just effortlessly glide across that huge gap, because it looks big from here. Did it feel like a big jump?
It felt massive. I was scared I was going to like break something, hit something, but just because it's such a leap. But it's my favourite style of boulder, that kind of swingy, dynamic things. It's just things I practice in training all the time. So I was just really happy to see one come up in a competition.
Yeah, and we're glad you were here to demonstrate that boulder.
Thank you.
Boulder for us. How are you feeling? Are you tired? Are you feeling good?
I feel a bit shaky right now.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of adrenaline after such a great round.
Adrenaline hit. I mean, coming into the competition today, I was like so achy. I felt stiff, felt horrible. But
it was an early start as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, very early. But yeah, I loosened up and I feel fine now. But yeah.
Great. And what are your plans for the year?
Well, I mean, it depends on these selection trials. I want to do some youth competitions, maybe get like a few comps in lead, maybe European Cups.
Because you do both disciplines, right? You do lead and bouldering.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't hoping much for boulder. Like, I was fine just settling with like youth comps, just because it's only really this year that I've kind of put work into getting like stronger. Since I've been quite a small climber, I've been not bulking up, but like trying to get some more muscle. So I'm not too sure if I would do any like European Cups if I got the chance of boulder, but definitely aiming for lead, like European Cups and stuff.
Would you say that lead was your preferred discipline, or is it kind of more 50-50 or?
Yeah, I think lead's my preferred discipline. I just enjoy it more. I like the comps. Yeah, I think I just prefer the thrill. But I have really enjoyed today.
Yeah, well, it's been amazing to watch you climb so well, so gracefully.
Thank you.
In your, I guess, less preferred discipline. Really cool to see. Anything you're hopefully we see you later in finals today.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Anything you'd like to see in finals? More swinging?
Yeah, more swinging. I love a good lâcher. Maybe like a paddle. I'm starting to prefer them, and like a techie slab.
Nice.
That's all I could ask for.
Well, I'll try and put a good word in with the route setters for you.
Thanks.
Well, rest up, and hopefully we'll see you on the mats later. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Nice one from Iggy, and Top's coming thick and fast all of a sudden at the top end of this competition. Things are really heating up all of a sudden. There was a top there from Sam Butterworth. Hamish walking away as well, didn't even catch what happened there. Tough round for Isabella Essington, couldn't find anything on the big lâché move to finish. Max Milne is going to start on boulder number 2 then. Someone we barely even had a chance to mention, Fred Williams on boulder number 3. Lucy Garlick, boulder number 3. Really close from Zoe Peterman's, nearly a top there. And Izzy Bridgens on boulder number 4 with Diane Akhtar just to her left. So plenty of superstars out there now. People we're used to seeing on the World Cup circuit as well.
I think we're going to see quite a few tops in this rotation.
Really good swing, initial starting action then from Izzy wearing 128 on boulder number 4. Really had the momentum across the corner, just not quite the direction.
Yeah, and I think she was aiming to finish in a palm position, and almost like realised as she got there that she couldn't touch that bit of the wall. So I'm sure next go she'll line it up a bit better. Now I have a feeling Diane will quite like this boulder.
Yeah, he's got power for days.
Yeah, looks like he's almost warming up at the moment.
Diane almost blew the internet up at one of his World Cup performances last season by powering through boulders. Final coming later tonight, just before 6:30. We'll be back here at the Depot Manchester. Molly Thompson-Smith and myself will be here. Nice little revolving door of guests we've had throughout the morning here as well. We'll try and keep that rolling tonight. 8 finalists. We're looking to get that top 8, and we will know it within the next 20 minutes or so. Izzy this time then, she's looked really composed on this swing so far. And nails it. Only the second climber to establish this, and smashes it.
Wow, such great work there from Izzy.
She looks so confident from the first time she tried it. Like you said earlier, Molly, when you do the boulder, it doesn't look that bad. But only the second climber to actually establish on the right-hand wall at all.
Yeah, great round from Izzy with a top on boulder 2, top on boulder 4. Kind of the boulders that haven't really been topped that much, to be honest.
Yeah, interesting. She's on the anti-tops.
Oh, and a top on boulder 1. 3 out of 4 for Izzy.
Yeah, showing her class. Will be going through to finals with confidence. Diane almost looked overconfident on this next hold on the previous attempt, has secured this next zone hold, the 10-point hold. There's 2 screw-on edges on the left-hand side of that orange triangle, then just this thin crimp and a fairly hidden top hold.
Oh,
brutal.
Making those
absolutely brutal
holds look pretty bad on that volume.
Yeah,
like he was pinching them.
Just as we had Iggy in the booth there, we had Jack McDougall topping that boulder. Sort of a bit of a get out of jail thing for Jack on there. Let's see where he is now in the scores.
Fred just trying to figure out how to make this position work at the top. He's got that left foot in and he's found that
like a cheeky little toe
hook. Is he gonna make it work? Not quite. Now we've not seen much from Max so far. He's only halfway through his round, but I'm sure he'd have hoped to have got off to a better start than this.
Bit of a meltdown start here for Max. You feel like there's so much sort of chalk on the mats now, and the 24 climbers, 25 climbers before Max have been through that boulder already, so conditions definitely not potentially in his favour at the moment.
Come on, Max.
There is actually a right hand hold there, you can't see it because it's just hidden underneath his hand. Absolutely minuscule. It's Diane. Forward, so much power has gone into this round already. Third time lucky at the top of this one. Like I said,
great catch from Max. Sorry there, Mike.
Two little edges there for both Max and Diane now. Important moments. Diane's fading.
Oh, and Max just missed the foothold and rushes a little bit.
Those early tops on men's too, especially from Reese, looking more and more important.
Yeah, I mean, it was good of Max to get that 10 point just in the nick of time, but he's left himself a lot of work to do for the end of the round.
Speaking of work to do, Hamish MacArthur as well. One of the favourites, really, you would have thought, coming into this competition. Struggled so far. Did you see it so many times in Boulder semi-finals where climbers come out early, find a relatively early top on a boulder, and we think, oh, this one's definitely going to be one of the ones you've got to do. And then we see less and less tops as the round goes on. And you do wonder how much conditions plays a part of that.
Yeah, conditions, expectation, pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a completely different, competition coming out earlier, I'd say, compared to coming out later in the field.
Oh, look at the quick little campus through there from Hamish. If he tops it in that method, it'd be pretty crazy. We've seen Diane just pinch that top hole with his left hand and just walk away. Hamish, 5th place at the Olympic Games, has got to just find a little bit of a steady position here. Zoe Peterman's 3rd top on women's number 4. And Hamish does actually get it done as well. Zoe just absolutely smashed that.
Yeah, that was beautiful to watch.
Absolute scenes here now at the British Championships.
Let's see if Emma can be our first athlete to top number 3. And no, this last move just looks so tensiony.
Route setters have done a fantastic job here so far in the semi-finals. Good clean splits. One boulder still untopped. It's women's number 3, but we've seen climbers grab it. Zoe Petermans has touched that last hole with both hands, but couldn't hold it in control. A brutal round, but a very good one. Good entertainment to watch as well. Top sports action.
Absolutely.
Final phases of this semi-final round, then we wind down the clock. Sam Butterworth just taking his time.
Yeah, athletes taking a little bit more time to rest and recover. For the men, they're finishing on the steepest section of the wall with the most powerful boulder after a long day of qualifying yesterday and a tough round so far today.
Yeah, we saw Diane have 3 really good goes on men's number 4, and realistically you can't really do much more in that in the time allowed. You do have to try and recover a little bit between rounds, and Sam Butterworth using that experience just to run the clock down a little bit, try and find something back in the arms. 60-degree roof section at the start with some really terrible foothold, so a load of body tension needed. Emma Edwards just to his left, just chilling as well for now, having a great round so far. One minute buzzer and they both step on at the same time. They've given themselves 1 minute then to make it happen.
Emma absolutely running up this third boulder. Can she make that wide toe hook method work? I think maybe. And hits the top.
Emma Edwards shows her class. All boulders now topped, and that is massive for Emma. Bringing out the sort of trump card of the box splits with the toe hook on the right foot to maintain tension on that last move. Use that rest so wisely, and Sam Butterworth is having 2 attempts in the last minute. An absolute flap of glory there just to try and finish it off. Looks absolutely cooked. Veins popping. He's done. His goose is cooked. His race is run. Trying to think of some more, but I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah,
I've peaked.
Great bars there. Great lyrics. Three athletes on the mats. Lucy, last female out at the moment. Oh, little hand slip there from Lucy, but that was such a promising first go. And Max might be about to get his first top.
Yeah, made it look easy in the end. He did need it. Struggled on the first 2 boulders, but absolutely cruised that one. So he's going to have to make it count on the last boulder. Max, he has a cheeky little look just off screen at that final boulder. As Fred also needs it. Really good on this powerful style, as you can see, looking fairly comfortable up there. Just sort of hovering the feet around at the moment. It's just 2 very, very poor slopey screw-ons for his hands at the moment. Just tries to boost one to the top. That top hold is about the size of 3 fingertips, so very unlikely to jump to that, I think. There is a penultimate crimp. Obviously didn't like the look of it much. Lucy managing to go entirely statically through that lower section. It is all about this move. We have seen it done 3 times now. Oh, casual!
So incredibly casual.
When it works, and it looks very, very impressive. And this stage in the competition, these tops are actually huge. You see Lucy there. I think she actually had a quick look at somebody in the crowd and they gave her the nod. It is quite a low-scoring round in the women's competition, and sometimes when you're out on the match, you really don't know what's happened before you, and just a little nod from somebody in the crowd is that little reassurance you've probably done enough.
Just Fred left on the mats in this rotation. His final boulder.
Yeah, Fred 4th at the European Cup in 2025 on the British team for lead and boulder. Qualified in 3rd from yesterday's qualification round. Didn't make the top 8 last year in this championship, so he's going well here. But he's got quite a bit of work to do on this last boulder, and you see what his body language on the mats, that he knows it as well. He's got to pull one out of the bag here. all on his own. All eyes on Fred Williams then. On this brutal looking boulder, catches that a little bit baggy. Shoulders had to do a lot there to recover the position. This is good from Fred, but he's giving it absolutely everything. You can see him pumping through these various positions. Again, he just jumps through. I mean, I'm not sure if he's not seen the next hold or just has taken one look at it and decided it's not even worth considering.
It is quite small.
It's going to go in for another go then. Very unlikely at this stage, but it would be incredible if he could do something.
I guess it's that last boulder, last go. Give it everything, but...
It's going to have to be last go, best go though. Oh, disgusting that starting position is. You know you're done when you can't even pull on anymore on your fourth boulder. It's been a good weekend though for Fred Williams.
Absolutely.
Two more rotations still to come in the men's competition then. One more rotation to come in the women's with Emma Edwards is going on the far right of this arena. Started with one climber on each of the first boulders in the far left, and now it's just two climbers left on the wall on the far right. Currently it is Jack McDougall with 74.8 who leads the way in the men's competition. One of the bolters from early, Jacob Amos, sitting pretty in 7th position. Nathan Whaley, Mr. Consistent in 8th at the moment. That's in the men's field.
Hamish MacArthur has some work to do on this final boulder. He's currently sat outside of the top 8, but I think a zone will boost his score significantly.
Yeah, Emma Edwards doesn't really need to do too much here either, currently in 3rd, but usually this stage of the competition is just try and go out there for tops on everything, as Hamish needs to go big here.
Here you can see from this angle how bad those screw-ons are on that zone volume.
Yeah, a little bit of dual texture right at the back of them as well, where your fingers want to nestle. We saw Fred skipping the next crimp, the penultimate hold. Let's see what Hamish does. Strong from Hamish. His foothold out left now. This is more sort of his style, but this last move is hard. Oh yes, from Hamish. Look at the left foot, it's just pumping away, but Hamish MacArthur with the style. Molly, you said it needed to be big from Hamish, and it was.
Yeah, he certainly showed up for that
Emma
boulder.
Edwards as well fires off another top on women's number 4. Such a fascinating boulder, that one. Iggy Rinaldi really opened the door on that boulder with an incredible first top, and it's been a bit of a send train after that. And Hamish MacArthur, talk about finding a style of boulder that suits you. Really didn't get on with boulders number 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, it made absolute light work of those.
Yeah, and extra impressive to kind of start climbing your best halfway through the round, I guess, and not let the lack of success on the first 2 boulders negatively impact your performance. So good, strong head game there from Hamish MacArthur.
Emma Edwards with that top will put herself going through to tonight's final in first place with a score of 84.7. Izzy Bridgen, Zoe Petermans, Isabella Rinaldi, who we spoke to earlier, goes into 4th. That's an incredible result for her. Lucy Garlick, Jenny Lee in 6th. Isabella Edgington looks super strong. She'll be going into finals in 7th. And Livy Gent, incredible performance on the comeback tour currently. Provisionally, but most likely sitting in 8th position, will take the final spot going through to tonight's final. That is currently your top 8. Emma Edwards was the final climber, so we're just waiting for the final confirmation on those scores. But what a performance that is from Livy, scraping into the finals in 8th. Hamish MacArthur with that top does what he needed to do. Nothing on the first 2 boulders and everything on the next 2. He sits in 4th place, but it's Jack McDougall with 2 flashes and a boulder in 3 attempts on boulder number 3. Diane Akhtar, no real surprises there, sitting in 2nd, and Reece Conlon with that incredible top on boulder number 2 will most likely be going into the finals in and around 3rd position.
Yeah, great performance from Reece Conlon. He came out early. He impressed us with his almost top. Didn't he just about run out of time on the first boulder? Yes. An amazing top of the second boulder, and here he is, sat in 3rd place.
So looking at the results, only Max Milne still to climb on the last boulder, but the 8 finalists is known. This is provisional, but barring any significant appeals, we have our top 8: Jack McDougall, Diane Akhtar, Reece Conlon, Hamish MacArthur, Aidan Dunn, Luca Martins. Looked like he had a torrid time out on the mats, but it shows you keep battling away. 1 top and 1 zone was enough to get you from even into 5th position. Luca Martins is in 6th. Max Milne currently with 1 boulder still to go in 7th position. And Jacob Amos out of nowhere currently in 8th position and will go through to tonight's final. And it's Nathan Whaley who's the unfortunate one to miss out.
I know, pretty unfortunate for Nathan, but what an epic split for the route setters. A top and you're in.
Yeah. Top and some zones.
Top and some zones.
Yeah, but good work all round. Yeah, Max is sitting in 7th position. You feel like the showman is going to want something here, though. Going to want to find a top. Yeah, it's 1 top, 1 zone at the moment from Jacob that gets you in. That's what Max has got at the moment himself, so anything better than that will just bump him further up the scoreboard. Training opportunity here, potentially for Max. Maybe lay a marker down for finals. This boulder has now been topped. Hamish just walked it. Jack McDougall also did. Jack actually flashed it, which is somewhat incredible.
Really impressive, and Max obviously opting for the campus method after his winter of campus training. Come on, Max.
Campusing here for Max, looking really strong. Crowd loving this here at the depot. And Max finishes off. Looks like he's going to try and windmill over. Oh, with precision. Shows his class. Was it ever in doubt? 2 boulders. He had to work at it, and he shows.
Excellent finish there from Max. Yeah, finishing with style, a flash, some showboating. What more could you want to wrap up this semi-final round?
Brilliant, brilliant semi-final round here at the Depot Climbing Manchester. 51 climbers have been whittled down to 16. 8 men and 8 women will be going through to tonight's final. We will just wait for the scores to update. We will be back tonight at 6:30, but just as we get the scorecards in order here in the women's competition, Emma Edwards goes out this qualification round. Well, let's go on to the men's because that's just in front of you there. Max Milne will jump up from that position. His score on the final boulder has not been completed. There we go. Jack McDougall. No real surprises really. Top 3, Jack McDougall, Max Milne, Diane Akhtar, but they certainly had to work at it. Reece Conlon is going to be beaming after that. An incredible round of boulders for him, and turns out if you climb hard on slabs you do really well. And that certainly worked out for Aidan Dunn as well, who finishes in 6th, just below Hamish MacArthur in 5th, who flashed the final boulder as well. Luca Martins and Jacob Amos are the kind of young bolters who are coming through and qualify in 7th and 8th. Just missing out then, Nathan Whaley, big disappointment for him. 8th last year, 8th out of the qualifiers, but drops down to 9th position. In the women's competition then, 4 tops for Emma Edwards, shows complete dominance of this round. 3 tops, excuse me, but close on number 2. All boulders did get top though. Izzy Bridgens with 74.2 was put in a stellar performance, as we'd always expect from Izzy. Zoe Peterman's looked really strong. Isabella Rinaldi opening that door on the final boulder. It was 5 tops we saw in that in the end after Rinaldi. Lucy Garlick, Eugenie Lee, Isabella Edgington and Livy Gent is back, and she finishes the top 8. Willow Petrobelli looked really good on the boulders, but dropped quite a few of the final moves, and she will go down in 9th, just outside of finals. A great comeback also from Louise Flockhart. It's been an absolutely brilliant semi-finals here, Molly. We are back tonight at 6:30, so join Molly and myself just before 6:30, and we have got what is set to be an incredible British Championships bouldering final here at the depot.
A good friend of mine describes being introduced to climbing as one of the best gifts he ever received. So if we think of introducing people to the outdoors and climbing, mountaineering as a beautiful gift, then why would we deprive anyone from it? Okay.
Classically, moving together means a number of climbers that are moving at the same time, usually joined by a rope. Being part of the BMC is being part of a really amazing community. Every type of person, you know, from all walks of life, and everybody's included.
Meeting people who share values and interests all around the world.
It's brilliant to have organisations like the BMC that are able to provide spaces and resources for communities to grow.
It all focuses around enabling people to do the climbing that they want to do.
Try and connect with people. I think that's the most valuable thing you can do with your climbing. Share ideas, share creativity. I think it's the biggest aspect of climbing for me, as the community.
Everybody is cheering for everybody. It's a really nice community to be a part of.
Adventure means different things to different people. Having an enjoyment of the outdoors and having a sense of adventure, you learn to think quickly under pressure.
Well, I think it's a tricky thing, because at one level you could say it's a sort of an adrenaline addiction, but I'm not an adrenaline sort of a person really. You need to be prepared yourself and sometimes taking guidance from somebody else as well.
Adventure is good for your well-being.
So I find myself very easily distracted on my phone. And I find that when I'm outside, when I am halfway up a cliff, when I am hiking with friends, all of that sort of takes the back seat a bit.
Sometimes normal life can be quite stressful, but adventure climbing and getting yourself out there can just help you manage those tricky moments.
The freedom it gives me, particularly as a full-time wheelchair user, it's mentally and physically challenging, and it's something I can do with all my friends.
A large part of making things accessible is role modelling.
You know, it's not exclusive to top climbers, it's not exclusive to competition climbers or whatever. Everybody can come and have a go.
We have a part to play in breaking down the barriers that prevent people from going into the outdoors.
It's lovely when we can come together from diverse backgrounds, we can come together from very different genders and ages.
We're all guests anyway, whether we're in the Peak District or in the Himalaya, and part of the delight of being in places is to be with other people and involve people in the excitement that it gives me anyway.
I believe that representation matters. When you can see people that look like you, that gives you the confidence, the courage, the ability to dare to be.
The BMC reps, working with access, this is crucial, and for me it's one of the most important things, because the access to the outdoors is just so important. They're constantly working with landowners, farmers, making sure paths are in good state of repair, making sure we have access to the cliffs. You know, there's a lot of work goes on behind the scenes.
As individuals who are climbing a lot outdoors, you totally have a responsibility to not leave any mark.
These are beautiful places, and I think people should try and leave zero trace.
It's all about trust. It's all about moving together and trusting each other, and that's a really good example to use that in terms of like the BMC, moving together, trusting each other going forward.
No, that's well nice, try it.
Good. I think supporting each other, not just through climbing, but through life is quite important.
Hi there, my name's Steve McClure, and I'm a BMC member and a BMC ambassador. So I first joined the BMC probably about 30 years ago, maybe more, I can't remember, it's a long time ago, but it's definitely many years ago. Something I can remember from the last year or so was something that really stuck in my mind as absolutely one of the best climbing days I've ever had in my life, and that was climbing Cenotaph Corner with my 2 kids up on the Cromlech in North Wales. And it's such an iconic route, one of the most famous routes, and a route which I'd known about for my whole life. And to climb that with my kids, who had a great time as well, was just such a special day, as good as any of the hard climbs I've ever done. Brilliant. As a BMC ambassador, I'm really keen to get involved with the access side of arrangements. I think for me, the access really is so important. I don't want to see that getting taken away at any point, so as much as I can do, I'm always willing to get involved. So going forward into the future, one of the big things the BMC has to do is just make sure that all climbers from all areas, all backgrounds, and whatever they want to do in climbing are all completely involved. And climbing is growing so fast, that's a lot of climbers, and it's going to be hard work to incorporate everybody, but we have to. We're the representative body for all climbers.
Tirana was the last stronghold of the Moorish Empire. Due to its rocky